the now and here. Gaming tales you need to hear. Laugh and shout and sometimes sneer. Memories from all those years. Console wars and secret tips. Tips and tricks from pixel trips. News that pours from gaming sips. Critical minds and candid lips. And Generation X gaming show. Tune in where the thoughts flow. Rant and rave with words that glow. Weekly stories make them go.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another week, another episode of Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories of the past week, and we rant along the way. I'm your host, 30 and Still Gaming, or 30 NSG, and on today's show, joining me each and every single week is Sgt Mclusky. What's going on, Sarge?
Rough week, bro. Rough week for gamers.
It was fine until yesterday.
Rough week. Rough week
it was
for
fine
gamers.
until yesterday. What's going on, chat? Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed. Generation X Gaming, a weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories of the past week, and we rant along the way. We're here live Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on youtube.com/30NSG. And we're also live over on Twitter under 30N Still Gaming. We appreciate you very much. If you want to watch this after the fact, you can do those so on YouTube, and you can also watch the past broadcasts. We are behind uploading the ones on Spotify. I say us, I mean me. So those will slowly go up throughout the week to catch up to this episode, which is episode 491. We are 9 episodes away from episode 500. I'm trying to find people that would like to come on to episode 500 and join us for the 500th episode. So we're still working that out, and I'll let you guys know as we get closer.
Am I allowed to drink on the 500th episode?
Sure, you can drink right now. I don't care.
There's no reason to drink now. It's not a celebration.
You can pour one out for the homies because there's plenty of things to be depressed about.
I mean, sure, but not really. You're depressed if you don't understand how the market.
Oh no, I'm not depressed. I'm just saying.
Right,
for the gaming industry.
As of right now, you're depressed because you don't know how the markets work. Otherwise, this is just you're still doing okay. Your life's fine.
All right. So on today's show, so later in life, we can look back and see what we talked about on this show. We're going to be talking about Destiny and Bungie and Marathon.
Do we have to?
Sony. Yes, we have to because it's all that's in the news cycle right now. We're also going to talk about the Last Flag studio. They're making some layoffs. We're going to be talking about Disney Plus and Fortnite. We're going to be talking about Grogu and Mandu and Grogu. We're going to be talking about Unreal Engine 6 because 5, obviously 6 is better than 5. That's what we've learned in the past, right? Bigger number. We're also going to talk about Red Dead Redemption Online has been successful, immensely successful, and we'll talk about that. We're going to talk about Halo Studios not making Halo and outsourcing Halo. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about The Witcher 3 new DLC coming out. We're going to be talking about upcoming Game Pass titles surface ahead of that. We're going to talk about the price increase for the Steam Deck because that's what everyone was like. Hey, you know what? We need a $900 handheld device. Like, why not? Right. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about if we have time. We'll talk about a little Call of Duty. We'll talk about IOI, and we'll talk about Xbox as well. Yeah. So let's get to what we've been playing, Sarge. I just want to let you know, I see what you did, Taco. I'm not going to read it right now. We're gonna wait for when we talk about Destiny, and then we'll read your super chat. I do appreciate you very much for the super chat. But I'm gonna try learning, even though I've been doing this for a lot longer. When I've been on Fake Wizard News, I like the pattern they do, where we do a story, and then when people do super chats or whatever, not then they go and read the super chats in between instead of bringing it up while
I like the AI generated wizard that's on the screen.
Oh, you mean
not him, the other guy, like the AI generated wizard they have. You never.
Oh, you talk about when he does the copyright thing?
Yeah,
with the old guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like one of my favorite little zingers things. Yeah.
Yeah. So I if you guys do super chats or anything like that, I will read them. We see them. I appreciate you very much. All right, Sarge. Another week down. What have you been playing? Anything new? We played something yesterday, but have you played anything else other than what we did last night?
So I can't talk about last night's game.
You can, but if you had something else to talk about before that one.
Yeah. So I look back at my calendar because I mark stuff on my calendar, like what I've been playing. Like if I play a game for a long period of time, I mark it on the calendar, like I played it for this many weeks, or just to see what I've done in the past year. And my pattern's almost kind of like the same. So like right around the beginning or middle of May, I start playing more World War II stuff because May and June. Like May and June are the war
baseball game and stuff like that.
Yeah, but May and June are like the I don't mean to say it this way, but it's just what it is, like the war remembrance type of things, because you have Memorial Day, Armed Forces Day, D-Day is coming up, right? So I played Company Heroes 3. I got the DLC I told you about. Playing that online. Guys are really good, man. There's no fucking around in that game. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I play RTS games. You have to understand.
I bet he plays RTS games. Yes.
Yeah. My brain needs to have a lot of stuff going on, and so I like the management of what's going on the screen. Like the only thing I have to get now is I have to get a better mouse because apparently this mouse is just not working for me. Yeah. So Company Heroes 3. I did find a group of people to play Hell Let Loose. And I'm trying to see if I can do that test for the Vietnam one, but I think it might be too late now. Yeah, those two. I play State of Decay, of course, because I like zombie shit. I like post-apocalyptic. And then the remaster for Wasteland's out. Nobody gives a shit about this except for me because the game's 40 years old. I think I told this story long ago when we had done the board game thing and we went to that game con.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy sitting at the table, he just happened to be sitting in front of some Wasteland stuff. And I go, "Oh, Wasteland." I said, "I remember that game. I played that game when I was like 10 years old. I love that fucking game." He goes, "Yeah, I made it." I looked at him. I go,
"Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
you're Brian Fargo." And he goes, "Yeah." And I go, "Holy shit!" Right? Like, because to me, back then, that was like the beginning. That's the beginning of the post-apocalyptic games. Was him. Because Brian Fargo was like the original guy. That's before Fallout came out. Like Wasteland came out, and then a few years later, the Fallout series started by Interplay. Yeah, but I do want to talk about the game last night.
It's called Escape Simulator.
Yeah, Escape Simulator on Game Pass.
There's Escape Simulator 2 out, but Escape Simulator 1's on Game Pass. That's why we played it.
I don't appreciate the mockery when we play Escape Room. We don't do it in 9 minutes when I have no idea what the controls are.
Well, that's the point of the Escape Room.
I don't. Yeah, but I don't do a tutorial.
No, right. We didn't do the tutorial. We just went right in.
I just play. Yes. Yeah. Right. And the first room was horrible, but we started getting the groove. The more rooms we did, like we started getting it.
I thought we did pretty good. What got me was that last room that we did right before we ended the stream.
Goddamn codes.
That code,
all those codes.
As soon as you said it's a keypad, I went, oh, for fuck's sake. Like I couldn't see it. I saw the numbers, right? And now that I look back, now that I look back on it, hold on. Now that I look back on it, 4, 2, 8. I was like, oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I was like, it's a fucking keypad. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I thought it was, but at first I thought it was a map of the building, legit. Like
it is
that we had to go out the door and then and then we have to solve the room to go south to get out. Like I thought that's what it was.
Like the next thing is the next room over, which would be the next room.
I mean, I like escape rooms, but at the same time, I'll be honest with you, there's only certain people that I can do an escape room with, because I'm gonna let it be known now. If we're in a room and you start to identify yourself as a mouth breather and you have no idea what's going on, like I start putting you in the non-friend category. You know what I mean? Like you have no idea. Like this is why it's very important. And I think an escape room is like the hard mode for social interactions for dating. Like when you date somebody, The idea of dating is to go out with them to different places to see how they
See
act
if you're compatible
in public. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not just if you guys could talk to each other, how you act amongst other people. Like you
No,
go
no. When I say
play
compatible,
golf, go to restaurants,
yeah.
do
When I'm saying
activities.
compatible, is just interacting with each other and see how.
Yeah. But if you on a date,
different situations.
if you're on a date and you do an escape room, what you're basically saying is
Yeah.
either I'm going to marry you or bury you. Like
Yeah,
there's
that's exactly right.
there's no other. The only thing like I think maybe like below that one is like canoeing.
Yeah, canoe rowing.
Canoe rowing with like a significant other that you don't know if they don't like. That's
You don't
it's
take
just
a brand
above
new
it.
date in a canoe.
No. What I'm saying is
You would
when
tip over the boat. You'd be like,
I think there's an internal clock within people. It's like I really like her, but I want to see. I don't want to waste. I want to do something to see if she's really the kind of girl I like. Right. So you go like, then your brain goes, what should I do? Canoeing.
We should go bungee jumping.
Right. Canoeing. Like something crazy. Right. Or we're gonna do an escape room and see what happens. Like that will define it for you. You want to save money on dates? Take your date. Make it like the second or third date. Escape room. See what happens. But I liked it. I liked the game.
I thought it was good. I thought it was good.
Once again, if the whole world was just versions of games that somebody wanted to make and you have time to play it, you move on, like that's how gaming was. Play a game for a little while, enjoy it, finish it, send props to the guy, move on. Right? I don't need to have all that other crap. I really don't.
Yeah, my son wants to play the escape room with me. He's like, I want to see if I could do it because he tried it by himself. He's like, I was stuck in the first room. I was like, oh, I'll help you. Yeah, we'll through because all he needs.
You're teaching problem solving. That's
what
the escape room is.
All he needs is a little push, and he'll be like, oh, and then he sees it. Like we did an actual escape room. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, don't go too drunk though. Like I went to an escape room with John, and he and I were a little too drunk. Like we went out to a bar, we were watching a hockey game, and we started doing Boilermakers, and then there was an escape room across the street, and we're like, let's do the escape room, right? And so that had to be because they watch you. Oh yeah,
that had to be the most entertaining thing.
To this day, John says when he passes by, they said they still have the recording of us. They use the recording. They use the recording for us.
It must have been
because
fantastic.
We're both like the same type of personality, and so we're like the escape rooms are supposed to be hard, but not that hard. So we're thinking like we're trying to invade the Pentagon.
Right, you're overthinking.
We're overthinking everything, and we're hammered, right? And so we're sitting there and we're looking at stuff, and like. I go, this looks like it moves. And it moved a little bit. So I thought it moved. And so I broke it off the wall. Yeah, I broke it off the wall. And I go, is this important? Is this piece important? And I started trying to plug it into things. I'm like, and like after a while, you hear laughing. I hear laughing through the wall.
Yeah,
and
they're like,
somebody comes on the speaker and goes, it doesn't go to anything. it just put it down. It doesn't go to anything. And I'm walking around the room with this piece of trying to plug it in. And all you hear is laughing. They're dying. They're dying. They're like, we're definitely saving this recording. It was priceless.
I thought about it when we went, and the way because as the time ticks down, we got out with I think it was like 54 seconds left, right? And at the very end, my wife's like, "Tell me the codes, because you had to siphon the codes on the thing, right? But all I had to do was turn the page over, and it was like super simple. So. I'm like looking at the hieroglyphics, not on the game last night, like in the actual escape room. And I see there's this big giant border around the wall. This is like 5 minutes left in the game. I see this big giant border that we've seen the entire time. And I'm like, okay, so that equals 1, this equals 5, 5 plus 1 is this, right? So I'm doing the whole thing. And I'm sitting there, she's like, can you hurry up? And now I have my nephew and my son with me, and they're freaking out. They're like, come on. And I'm like, give me a second. I was like, give me a second. And I'm like, all right, put in the 6. She's like, what do I do? I was like, calm down. Just put the numbers in 3, 5, 6. And I was like, all right. And then all of a sudden I turned it over and I went, oh. And I went, oh, 6, 6, 4, whatever. And the answer's right on the back of the fucking paper. Right. And I was like, oh, Jesus. But I was doing it mathematically, like looking at the hieroglyphics on the wall, and I was like adding and subtracting and dividing.
Yeah, but I understand that. First of all, it takes a special kind of person to come up with an escape room. You know what I mean? Like you're not going to just walk in and go, let's make an escape room. Like it takes a certain kind of person to make one, right? Right. Now, you might have different levels of complexity for yourself, but if you want people to actually go through it, I think it's a great social experiment and to teach people problem solving, because if it's one thing people are lacking is problem solving, especially when you give them a clock, right? They start to freak out and panic.
Freak out.
Like
Yeah.
people panic. Like it's a game. First of all, we're not going to die, but they said we were going to die. Like everything is like immediate. Like we're going to get poison gas. I'm like, if they shoot gas into this room, it's probably going to be sleeping gas because you just need to calm down. Like there's no way. Yeah, no way. Yeah, so by the end, we were supposed to be in there for half an hour, right? At the 45-minute mark, all you hear is cackling. And they're like, do you want us to help you? And we're like, we're looking at the walls. No! We'll pay for extra time. Put it on the bill, because they have to move things through. There's other people waiting. And so then it became this whole thing where like the people waiting were watching us, and it's just hilarious. It's just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I thought the game was good. Like there's a lot of there. I wouldn't say hard, right? My brain
But
sees
you can't
it.
you can't rush one thing at a time.
You're like, what does this go to? You know, and you're like, I don't know. And you see something, you're like, oh, that looks like it goes there. You know, it's just it's very.
You got to pick it up.
I don't know. There's something about it.
You got to look at it. Okay.
Yeah, I've only done one escape room so far in real life, and playing the game yesterday, I was like, oh, this makes me kind of want to go do some more, like, because
it was a big fad, and then like I'm not sure if people still have them in their local areas, but like
there's certain by us.
Well, I'm saying, is it still a fad, or is it still something that people go do?
No, there's tons of them by us.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. I didn't know if the fad was over.
In the theme capital of the world over here. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of
and you know what it is? An escape room is kind of like the Halloween store. Like it could be around for like 8 weeks and then just disappear. You know what I mean? Like
now that you mention it, like going to an actual store like Target or Walmart is like an escape room, because you can't get out of there if your wife or significant others in there and they're just shopping. You got to figure out how to get them out of the
right. You have to find the right combination of items to get them out the door.
Yeah, you're like, do you need this? You need this? And you have to move the cart down the road, and you have to come on, let's go. You know, you have to try to get them outside of the store. So that's an escape room itself.
And the worst part is if they realize you're trying to get them out, then you're really screwed. Then you're there for longer.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot something in gardening.
Oh, yeah.
Like so close.
Oh, we were gonna be out of here. In 10
I saw the candy, and now I gotta go gardening. I go,
yeah, exactly. IKEA is the final boss of escape rooms. That's right.
IKEA is literally a video game.
You have to go.
You have to go through it.
Gauntlet.
You have to go through the entire. You have to go through the entire store.
It's like a maze. You can do the shortcuts if you know, but if you don't, you end up backwards and you don't know which way you're going. It's crazy. On other games I've been playing, we played Escape Room. I've been playing Forza. I do like Forza. There was something weird about my game the other day. I was playing and I did a race. Okay. And it says like A class or whatever. And it said 700. And I'm like, okay, well, I have 570. I can't do the race. But I did the race. It completes it. Tells I got first place and whatever, it's on the board. And then I did the race that was 700 with the car, and it didn't give me credit for it. And I was like, okay. And then we did it again, and it didn't give me credit for it. And I was like, what am I doing wrong? Like, why isn't it responding that I completed this race? I completed the other two races that I wasn't high enough for, and it worked.
You're using the wrong car.
But the other ones worked.
But it probably was you had to use a specific car, right?
No. I saw it. It's a 700 series car you had to use. I wasn't doing it, and apparently, whatever. And then just things were acting up. It wouldn't work. All of a sudden, like the car would do whatever it wanted. I was like, "What's happening?" It wasn't on auto drive either. It wasn't on auto drive, and I was just very confused what was happening. Overall, though, that game, it's just fun, just driving, man. It's just fun, like top speed. We were just jumping off like ramps and stuff to get distance to compete against the friends list that we have. So like Kylo was there. I was like, I could beat him, right? Buckalorian came out of nowhere. He hasn't been in the stream in like years. Destiny is about to close down. He pops back and he's like, and then all of a sudden he's on my friends list again, or on Forza, and he's at the top of the list of everything. And I'm like, I can't beat Buckalorian. Buckalorian, like I can't beat him. But it's fun. Just the simplistic thing of trying to outspeed them or jump farther than them, or complete more things than them, or collect more things, find more roads. It's just a fun little game. They have a nice, I don't know if it wins Game of the Year or anything like that. To me, though, to be honest, 6 feels like 5, just in a better location. I do like the Japan map much better than the Mexico map. It just feels like much more versatility in this map across the thing. And it feels like, I don't know if it is, and maybe chat can fill me in. is this map bigger than Mexico? Is it the same size, but because it's more awkwardly shaped the way it is, like it feels bigger to me, but I don't know if it is bigger. But Anna, we're confirmed confused in Forza Horizon 6. I blame Fable for that. Yeah, but overall, I think Horizon 6 is a very, very good game, very fun game. The cars they're so much fun. Like you can really feel the weight behind the cars when you're like, it's like it's a good mix. I talked about this a couple weeks ago. It's a good mix between arcade and like real sim. You know what I mean? It doesn't take itself too seriously, but it also doesn't make it too arcadey. And if you upgrade
that's why I liked Gran Turismo, is because
that's
it's more
very,
on the
very
realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The cars, Aku said it a couple weeks ago that the cars feel a little like they're on ice.
A little
floaty.
floaty.
Yeah, a little floaty.
A little floaty.
But when you upgrade them, it fixes it. It like makes it more realistic.
Right, but the increment between floaty and realistic is like you're going from arcadey to a simulation. Like that's what's kind of funny about it. Like I get it's supposed to be a fun action game, but when it goes that kind of severity, like it's an arcade game, and then when I get an upgrade, all of a sudden the car starts acting like a simulation. Like that's a little weird.
Yeah,
I understand you're doing a fishtail, and I never in car games especially I never liked floaty. When the car is floaty, then I don't feel like I'm trying to beat anybody or anything. I'm just kind of going for a ride, right? The difference I like to say to people and anybody who's raced anything is some people go for a ride and some people drive, right? There's a difference, right? And those people who race know, right? If you're a guy who raced like the roommate you had, like that dude, he never rode anywhere. He drove everywhere. Yeah, like everywhere he was going. Champion. Right. If he was going to the supermarket, he was trying to do his best time from his house to the supermarket. Like he drove.
Yeah. He was awesome. Still is. He still races, I think.
Does he really?
I believe so, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. The whole garage
is he did he move up into the south? Did he go to Georgia somewhere?
Yeah, I think
or is he still down in Florida?
No, I think he's in South Carolina or whatever.
I was gonna say he's got to go where the driving is for sure.
Yeah, our whole garage was always filled with fucking tires.
Yeah, because he goes through them.
He burned through so many fucking tires.
Tires like a female closet with shoes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And sneakers and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That was a good time back then when I lived with him. Our whole house was a fucking bachelor pad. We had a pool.
You guys had the.
Yeah, we had a pool table. We had
what's it called? Click Rich? You had the
craps table.
Slot car.
Our whole back patio
was the slot car track.
Was slot car track. Yeah, like the big scale.
Yeah, the metrics. What is it? It's click tricks, set tricks. It's something. Yeah, the bigger scale.
Yeah, it was so awesome. Yeah, it was a great time. All right, let's. That's all the games I've been playing. Anything else, Sarge? Anything else you've been playing?
No, it's World War II time.
All right, let's go to top stories. I'm trying to find some like real quick small stories here before we get into the big chunky ones, okay? Because Destiny's a big chunky one, okay? I mean, so like this is like a sneeze story, okay? Like, okay, Last of Us studio layoff half of its employees, and it puts the future of the game in the hands of our players. Now, I know everyone in chat big fan of this Last Flag game. It had single-digit players playing it. It was amazing on Steam. Last Flag Studio lays off half of its employees. Okay, it says Night Street Games said earlier this month that it will not be pursuing future development of its Capture the Flag shooter. Now, we just did this like 2 weeks ago. They're like, we're not closing. We're not. It is what it is. But now they've laid off half the studio. So the Capture the Flag shooter, Last Flag, initially caught our eye because the co-founder developer of Night Street Games is Mac and Dan Reynolds, better known for the world as respectively the manager and lead singer of Imagine Dragons. But it turned out to be pretty good shooter. PC Gamer editor Tyler Wilde, who knows no slouch of the field shooting capture, spent some time with 2025. Okay, but as if so often cases these days, Last Flag struggled to find an audience. We'll show you the audience in a second. In April, Night Street Games said it would also make a game free to play every weekend until the first update came out But just a week later, they pulled the plug, saying that our player count is not concurrently where we need it to be to support the additional development beyond the upcoming planned patches. Then last week, executive producer Jonathan confirmed that all of the inevitable, the reduction of our team, and the new statement provided by the game developer Mac Reynolds, the CEO of Night Street Games, confirmed that about a dozen employees were let go and laid off at the, what the hell is this? And are gone, right? So our team poured everything into bringing the last flag to life. I'm proud of what we also built together. Reynolds said the game development is inherently risky business, but it's not a loss on us. What it means to take a chance in something you believe in. Hey, look, you know what?
Good verbiage.
Right.
You wanted to make the game. You made the game.
That.
It worked. It didn't work, but that's what you believed in. I'm completely fine with that. Right?
Make a game, sell a game. Right.
I'm completely fine with
sell a game.
However,
you should have done research ahead of time.
However, when you chase trends, this is where you are. Like, I'm completely fine. You understand the risks involved. All I'm saying is there's 1,000 other games. At least every month, every couple months, 1,000 games. We're not talking about any of them. We don't know Bob from Minnesota. We don't know the two girls that are working out of their garage in Montana someplace, and they made some kind of girl game that the girls seem to like. There's thousands of games that we don't speak about, right? If you end up on an article with anybody, I don't care if it's IGN or Kotaku, if you're actually in the list that they're talking about you, be happy, right? Be happy that you're being mentioned.
This is why all the time I say it, right? Make a game, sell a game, right? Make the game that you want to make, sell the game that you made, and see what happens. Maybe people like it. Now, Krebsy, I don't know if you're in my head. I was about to ask you the other number, and you did it for me, so I do appreciate you. The current Steam count is 7, right? The current Steam count is 7, and the total on Steam was all-time peak of 558.
Yeah, but you don't see the pushback about how everyone's toxic or everyone is this or didn't give the game a chance. Like, because nobody cares about that game, so it's okay to just bypass it with the same numbers. Now, if it's a game that somebody cared about and had these numbers, now it's biblical. Now we have to talk about why everyone hated it. Like, why did the chuds not want to play it? Like, no, it's just another game. It didn't go well.
Just
cool. We're moving on.
I feel like this is close to home, right? Because we made a board game, right? We made a board game. We tried to get it funded. Didn't work out because of the way we marketed it and stuff like that. It didn't fail, but it didn't succeed, right? When we went to the board game convention, people loved it. They were like, "This is great," right? But we just didn't have the capital to make it, right? At least these guys made the game, sold the game. We got to make a game, but we couldn't sell the game, right? They're ahead of us. So I feel it. We made the game that we wanted to make. We just couldn't find the funding. They found the game they wanted to make. They had the funding to make the game.
And it went to market.
Right.
And it went to market.
They just didn't have a player base.
Yeah, but don't forget that maybe with some negotiations, it goes onto something, Game Pass or PlayStation, whatever, and maybe they get a little chunk of change because it goes onto one of those services. Right?
Right.
I mean, there's a lot more options now than there was before, where somebody who made a game, it goes out into the void, and then it just goes and gets buried in the sand. Like, you don't even know it exists. At least now, your games, even though it's on a list of thousands, your game is on a list in Steam somewhere, right? You're in there somewhere. Right. Someone can find you. It's not like the game is lost to history. So that's a plus, right? When you're bored, listen, when you're bored, I'm not saying everyone's bored at the same time, but when you're bored and you're looking around, you're like, you type in a few phrases, you're looking down the list, and you're like, I'll try it.
Right.
I'll try it.
I feel like playing this game today. Let's go try to see what this is. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll try it. There's thousands of choices, man. Thousands.
Yeah, but Krebsy, you're not wrong. Damn, it's worse than Concord 697. But I don't think this game cost as much as Concord did.
Right.
I'm just putting that out there.
Which says a lot about what they spend on games.
Well, going from that story to this story, right, which is the Dying Light former director believes that devs are obligated to focus and listen to the players because as soon as a game is released, it stops being only your game. Now, again, make a game, sell a game. Right before a stream, I was talking to the Sarge about this. I said, my vision of my point of view of this, not my vision, my point of view of this is that this works if you have a live service game. I'm not talking about the traditional live service game either, like, like a Destiny and stuff like that. I'm talking about even like a Space Marines is a live service, right? You're making a game and you're continually supporting it.
It's not.
So
Yes,
it
not
becomes
like a live service. It's
Yeah,
a
no,
game
what I'm saying is,
that
but
you're
if you-
releasing content for. But
yeah,
it's
but
not like
if you're still supporting the content, like a Helldivers or something,
DLC.
nerfing, buffing, listening to the gamers is a thing. But if it's a single player game, right? If you make patches to fix the game, like because like Star Wars Outlaws, like the stealth was bad and the gunplay was bad, and they fixed that, right? But if someone's like, "Oh, you should add a new dungeon board level," right? Like, no, it's a single player game. They decided to make the game, sell the game for what it is. They fixed what the game was. That's not live service. That's just fixing what it is. So I don't think all games. I don't think what he's saying here is set to all games. I think single player games is what it is, right? Make a game, sell a game, and be done with it. Live service games, on the other hand, if they start to get traction,
whole other animal.
Look at Marathon. Marathon was not going to have PvE. Well, now it's going to have PvE in it. You know what I mean? So to listen. So I think he is correct here. I don't know if they're obligated. Obligated single player, no. Obligated for live service, I think yeah. I think you are obligated.
I don't use the word obligated unless there's something broke fundamentally about the game that you should fix. That's an obligation. Like the way that you intended the game to work doesn't work that way. You've got to fix it. It's not because it's a live service game. You have to fix the damn game. It doesn't work.
Right. Crowded says Bungie listened to players before they released D2. Look what happened. Again, live service though, right? And you don't have to listen. Remember that, Crowded. You can take feedback, but you don't have to engage with that feedback. Like people give me feedback all the time. And some of it I go, oh, that's good. I'll add that or I'll do that. Other people give feedback. I'm like, that's fucking stupid. I'm not doing that. Right. Like you as the creator still have the final choice to be like, hey, if enough people in the community are saying this, maybe we should look into it. Right. If one guy's saying it, you don't go, you know what? We're putting the whole team on this thing because Todd 64 ass muncher said we should do it, and you're like, yeah, let's go do that. You know what I mean? So it's definitely if the community wants it and enough people in the community want it, then you have to listen to the community.
Well, if you're trying to sell more copies,
yeah.
Well, everyone, but you're relating to the interaction with the game, right? If you release a game and it's broken and your sales are low, you could say it's because Todd Ass Munch 67 said something about it, but
Todd
really it's
9 Ass Munch.
Sorry, well, whatever. And he's just letting you know. But meanwhile, the sales is what is making you listen. It's not just him, right? It depends on what you're looking at about the game. Like if the game is fundamentally broken, like if I'm falling through the map, I want to play your game. I'm falling through the map, and there's a bunch of refunds and shit happens. It doesn't have to be a live service game. Just fix your game, right? But if you sold 1.2 million copies and you're a mid-tier studio, and a bunch of guys are complaining that you're falling through the map, but you made the money enough to where you don't care, you're like, sorry,
right?
This is why.
Sorry,
but this is why I don't ever buy day one. I don't care anymore, right? To me, like I'll say it 1,000 times. To me, a new release is a reminder for me to remember the game that's coming out, so I know what to look for in a year.
Right.
That's what a new release is for me.
I look at it. Yeah.
That's what a new release is, because I already have a backlog that could kill most people, right? Just fall on you. You can kill most people. I don't care, right? I play the set games I play with, then I play a few other games on the side, and I go through them, and I go back to my main games. I'm passing the time the way I want to pass time, right? There's no more hanging out and bragging about where you are in a game like back in the day. Why everybody had to get it day one, right? Like Forza would have been that type of game where you'd be like, yeah, where are you? What map you on? What time did you get? Like, and like the FOMO was there. Now I don't care. I'm like, oh, new game coming out? Sweet. Put that down on the wish list. See you soon.
Don't worry, chat. We're going to get to Destiny, and we'll have plenty of conversation for Destiny. This last story before we get into the Destiny talk, right? Chat, where do you lie on this, right? I know where I lie on this, right? You guys know where I am on early access games. Like early access 2-3 years, cool, right? Early access 14 years, okay? So Star Citizen crosses $1 billion in crowdfunding after 14 years, yet version 1.0 still has yet no release date.
It's incredible.
I mean, this is
I think they're like number 2, right? Like there's Grand Theft Auto, then there's them, right?
I mean, yeah, think about that for a second. Grand Theft Auto 5 came out. Star Citizen started funding. Here we are 15 years later, right? And they're still funding, and they still haven't released yet. They still haven't released. At this point, I know people love this game, right? And I don't want to shit on anyone that's having fun with the game, but can we say that the people that love the game are their own problems because they don't finish the game because the people that love playing the game are happy what the game is and what it could be, and Star Citizen's just like, yeah, we don't have to like.
Yeah, but you do realize
you don't have to fix it, and they don't. You know what I mean? They don't have to finish it because they just constantly making money off of it.
Yeah, but you do realize that the type of clientele that is playing Star Citizen are well-to-do, upper income guys who that's what they like, and so the money that they spend on it is irrelevant to them, right?
Yeah, but
like
it doesn't
matter.
They like it better if the game was actually done what they promised 14 years ago?
Because the game does what they want it to do. That's what it is. Right? That's what it is.
Let's go back to that last
the story that we should be doing, right? The story that we should be doing is we really need to figure out what the actual difference are in the market when you're a game that's not released and a game that is released, and what the difference is rule wise.
Well, we just had the other story that said once the game is released, they should update it because of the fan. This game is not released. 14 years, they're just still making the game, but the people are like, nom. We love it. We love the game, even though it's not going to complete. Right? Now, my question is, they sold you on the 1.0, like what they were going to do for the 1.0, for the story and stuff like that, right? People love the game because of what they promised it was going to be. 14 years later, they still haven't made the promise, and they're okay doing all the other stuff now in the game.
It's definitely
so if they close this
market,
if they close this tomorrow, all of a sudden they're like, you know what, we're done.
Well, you'll get that statement when the guys are finally done playing it.
But
you'll get that statement.
My point is, would you get the people that love this game if they say, sorry, we're done supporting? They're just done, right? Just like Destiny, we're done. 2 weeks from now, Star Citizen is no longer going to be made. We're not releasing 1.0.
Yeah, well, what
they go, well, this is bullshit. You told us you're going to make 1.0. Yeah,
that wouldn't work.
And upset.
No.
Sue?
No, I guarantee you in the EULA when you sign up to play the game, I guarantee you all that legalese is there. You won't be able to do anything. Like that's an actual thing that's going to happen. They're going to say like, you know what? We've milked it. We're done. That's pretty much it. But you said you were going to release it, or it'll be like that other studio did. You release it and then shut it down.
I just find it crazy, man. Like 14 years. We were giving shit to Fortnite when it was like 5 years in, and they were like, still the alpha. You're like, are you gonna make that alpha anytime soon? Like,
I mean, you paid to play. You're playing, right?
Paying a lot. Paying a lot to be a tester here.
Yeah, but the money is optional. The way that it's always been optional. Right? It's almost kind of like Eve is, where you're spending money to get credits inside the game. You're doing it voluntarily.
Yeah. Is it still in beta? Nearly 14 years, Chris Roberts launched a Kickstarter campaign for Star Citizen, promising incredible, ambitious spiritual successor of Wing Commander. Still hasn't made that, resonated with fans, gathering over $2.1 million in pledges, 35,000 backers, but that was merely the beginning. Yeah.
I mean, think about that. Think about that for a moment. 35,000 backers is fucking nothing, bro.
35,000 $10,000 each.
But that's what you know about the demographic of the people who want to play that kind of game. Right? Yeah. That tells you the income level of the people that play that game.
Yeah, see, there's still an alpha. Alpha 4.8 launched earlier this month. Alpha.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Whatever works, man.
All I have to say is if you're loving the game, fantastic. But I don't ever want you to hear a complaint if they ever shut down and never support it again. And they're just like, yeah, that's it. We're done. They never have to make the game. They never have to complete the game because the people keep paying for the alpha.
Yeah. Right?
This sends the wrong message to companies all over the place.
Yeah, but the regular industry would love to have people play their game like this.
Absolutely.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
I don't know. It's just all right. Let's get to the big topics here. Okay. The big topic, number one topic is Destiny. When stories like this break, okay, from last week, it goes so fast. If you miss a day, you're already behind. You're already behind, right? So I'm going to read a story that's from May 22nd, which feels like it's fucking a month ago. Okay. And we're only on the 28th now, right? Are we on the 28th? Yeah, 28th, right? So 6 days ago, right? Former Destiny 2 dev says ex-CEO Pete Parson was the real Destiny killer.
He was
after Bungie ends live service development.
He was
now we love making fun of Pete Parson here. I mean, we had this. Okay.
I love that. Put that back on the screen again. I want to look at that for a minute. You can just keep, yeah.
I can't keep it up there.
Love that.
I can't for some reason. Yeah, I can't. You know,
is he copyrighted?
No, it just won't stay up there for some reason because of the program.
He copyrighted himself.
We had Pete Parson Carson. You can go listen to the soundtrack of Golden Parachute, which is on Spotify. Go take a listen. Okay. Former Destiny 2 dev, right? CEO Pete Parson. And this is the scapegoat. Now, I've said this from the past, right? Since 2016, I've been saying Bungie doesn't know how to manage money. This is way before Destiny 2 came out. I said Bungie does not know how to manage money. And there has been a ton of people over the years that you're a hater. You don't know what you're talking about. It's not Bungie's fault. It's all this other stuff. And here we are. The roosters and the chickens are coming home to roost. They can sit on my face, right? Because I've been saying since 2016 that Bungie doesn't know how to manage money. This man, I'm going to take a line from Ace Ventura, right? He is Bungie. Bungie is Pete Parson, okay? Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel, okay? This is Bungie. Pete Parson is Bungie. When Bungie was making money, he was there. When he left, they had problems when he was there. They didn't have problems when he was there. He's not the catalyst, right? He's not the catalyst. There's plenty of people that were there that were the problem with Bungie, from the community itself to the higher ups in management to the people that just don't know where the money was going, and they were burning cash. They were burning so much money, okay? Everyone's like, no, it's not Microsoft's fault when they were first with Microsoft. Nope. It's not Bungie's fault. It's Activision's fault, right? Even though they were the most successful. Even though they were the most successful under Activision, by the way.
Oh, because Activision gave them the ability to get more studios to work. Remember, the pinnacle of the pinnacle of Destiny DLCs that did the most bang was Forsaken. Okay. And they had to have four studios.
Taken King on the first
Taken King first. Taken King first. And they had to have like 4 studios working on that, and Forsaken, same thing. Only when that they had the backing of all those studios were the people proud of the DLC. It was the best DLC ever. Most people were playing it, but it costs that much to get it done. Can't do that forever, right? Especially when you have your dad comes home and says, how much money are you spending on this? He's like, well, this is what we have to spend. And like, that can't happen. We can't spend that much money anymore. It's not the same market. It's not the same market.
Once they separated from Activision, they said, well, we want to be a multi-studio, IP studio. We're going to publish our own games that lasted, I don't know, like a sneeze. Okay. And they're like, who can help us? And then they got money from other people. And then they approached, I don't know if they approached or Microsoft approached them. I think they approached Microsoft and said, hey, what are you willing to buy? And they said, well, you're overpriced. You're $7 billion, and let's take a little peek at your books, right? And they're like, you're way too high. Your burning rate is way too high. We're not interested, right? Which is crazy because Microsoft's usually the one that fucks up everything. They're like, yeah, okay, we'll take it, right? Instead, they went with Bethesda because they have more IPs and more stuff, right? Say what you want about that deal, but
Elder Scrolls Online,
Elder Scrolls, Fallout. Starfield, Skyrim, So they have a whole bunch of stuff. So they overvalued themselves, and then because that, they had to lower their value, and Sony came in and bought them, which we'll move over to. Where is this other one? Director against no, wait, is it this?
No, it's the one with the symbol. It's the one with the big symbol. That's the article.
Which one
With the old school Destiny symbol. That's the article. Yeah, I think that might have been it. Scroll.
This one? No, that's the one that we were on. That's
no, the other one.
Destiny gone. This one? No.
Nope.
People just want to hate Marathon.
Nope. Giant Planet. That's it right there. That one.
Right.
That one.
No, this is the concurrent player one. That's not the one. Hold on. I got so many other ones. Maybe I close it down.
Which one are you looking for?
I was looking for the one with let's talk about Sony. Maybe it's in this one. Anyway, so they paid the money that they paid, right? I'm looking for the one that we talked about right before the show where I'm like, why did Sony buy them? Like, what was the point of buying? Because they
let's get into that right now. Right? You're Sony.
Yeah.
Right? You bought Destiny for $3.2 billion and change.
3.2 or 3.6? I think it was 3.6.
What?
Yeah, go ahead.
$3 billion's enough.
We're splitting hairs here. Yeah.
If you purchase a company for that reason, and then you get rid of the reason why you bought them, I don't understand what was the value of you buying them. What were you trying to achieve? If you're getting rid of the one that made you the money to gamble on the one that hasn't done anything and you're trying to make money on, what was the reason for the purchase? Like, what was the reason for the purchase? You didn't you're not backing the product that actually made the money. You're backing the gamble that isn't making money. So is it because you were concerned because other companies were buying things at that time too, and so you thought you needed to buy one to stay in competition? Because otherwise, none of this makes sense. It doesn't make sense for Sony to go out and spend that kind of money for a studio that you're going to dismantle and not use anything that you purchased. What is the point?
Crowded. No, it was 7.2 billion. Yeah, 7.2 billion is what Microsoft paid for that. I found the article. It's this one. It's Paul Tassi. I remember we talked about it because he has this little breakdown here of because the title here is called "With Destiny 2 Gone, No Destiny 3 is Coming." Right, and you have to think about this for a second. You're like, Sony has, like you said, they bought it. Why did they buy them? Right, they bought them because they wanted help with the live service, right? But they also had to buy them because of Destiny. Destiny was the biggest. I mean, the reason you were interested in buying them for live service is because they had the biggest live service, right? They had the biggest live service. That's why you wanted to buy them. So Paul Tassi here says Destiny 2 players were stunned yesterday by Bungie, said that it was ending development of the game after a final June update, while the longer term is also always been coming. So far, as the player base knew, at least 2 more expansions were on the way alongside another year of content. Not so. It says in Bungie's goodbye message, they seem to hint that Destiny's brand would live in some other form, with other players believing that the tease of Destiny 3 is in development, but would be announced at some point and help ease the loss. That, unfortunately, is not the case, and things are worse for Bungie that most of them even understand. Okay, it says, for my own reporting and Jason Schreier's piece, whose detail I can now confirm, can have the amount of common sense or that we know. Okay, so Destiny 3 is not in production, right? It has not in production and has not even been greenlit as something that's starting down the road, and obviously been pitched many times over, even before the final shape. But Sony did not want to spend the money, what they apparently not to change, right? Buy a company for 3.6 billion, and then decide not to do anything with the IP is a little weird, because I looked it up, and obviously Sony Online Interactive PlayStation division is who bought Bungie, not Sony, right? The PlayStation that under Sony,
the department, the
department bought Bungie, right? So reason they bought it wasn't for the IP to make movies and TV shows and books and comics and all this other stuff.
Which you think you would do the bare minimum.
You would think you would do now that you own it, right? They just bought it for the live service, and they bought it for Destiny itself, right? Now, obviously, they own the IP, so you would think they would do something with it, right? It says nothing else has been officially greenlit in the development yet. Even among the other non-sequential Destiny ideas Bungie has, they don't want to keep the IP alive. It's just crazy. Part of the decision to axe Destiny 2 now has to move more resources over to Marathon, now entering into its second season. However, Bungie has roughly 800-person company is not going to have that many people working on the extraction shooter without the new project ahead of Destiny 3. There are also going to be significant layoffs, according to Schreier's report. Obviously, that's going to happen because there's redundancies there, right? You got to get rid of the people that are not doing anything, and you're hemorrhaging money at this point, right? The idea for Destiny 3 has always been a long shot in the current state of Bungie, and is also given how many devs were working on the game post final shape, and they couldn't message the new heavily reduced content schedule developing Destiny 3. It would obviously involve.
That's been it the entire time.
Right.
The content schedule, this is the same points made when they were making the content for Destiny 2. Too many people can't get the content out fast enough. How many times do we need to hear the repeat of this?
Right. I mean, then we have the Civil War is heating up, right? This is from Paul Tassi as well. This is the updated, right? Because this article was, I believe, from 2 days ago. No, 5 days ago. Okay. Now, the new one is the Civil War of Marathon is heating up and frustrating many. Okay, so I'll read this one. As Destiny 2 fans grapple with the news that the live game, part of the series has run for 11 years with no longer getting new updates after 2 weeks from now. Players are going through various stages of grief, which is, I understand from the content creator side, it's their job is like getting let go and stuff like that. This escalated yesterday when Azakross, the streamer on YouTube, who has been the biggest content creator in Destiny 2 for quite some time now, published a video expressing extreme anger about the situation, saying that he will no longer play the new Marathon season, even potentially turn down lucrative brand deals from Sony for its part. Well, no, he didn't say he would turn them down. He stated, by the way, I watched the video, he stated that because he's doing what he's doing, he might not get lucrative deals with Sony anymore, is what he said. He didn't say he's turning them down. He thinks that he's not going to get them because he's doing what he's doing. It says this refrain is simply that he doesn't want Marathon. He wants more Destiny. And it appears like he's going to use his platform to reinforce the point repeatedly, saying he doesn't care if he's going to be petty about this and rest of the year. It is a noteworthy moment, though, given that Azakross significantly is a public face for the game. And again, the largest creator. Naturally, this explosive video has divided fans further, with some sympathizing or encouraging his anger as it reflects their own, while the others say they're also making everything worse and comes off as sour grapes, to say the least. But it's not just him. His viewers are widely held as the opposite. And hello, Cross, if you're reading this in my video, he says, okay, he says, now, let's break down the two parts of the facts that Marathon past, present, and regarding Destiny 2, and my own take on all of this. Okay. Actually, I think there's one more thing. I think this is the one I want to talk about. Yeah. Let's skip that one because that's his own opinions. This is now the stuff that he knows because he asked a source from Bungie. Right. So this is actually now what we know so far. He says, my sources here breakdown of what we've learned so far. Right. They begin the discussion of scenarios planned after Edge of Faith in terms of where Destiny 2 could or should go from there, because the expansion underperformed expectations. Okay. Those discussions got way more serious when Renegades did one of the worst, this is the Star Wars update, Sarge, and didn't change sales, retention, or trajectory. The scenarios discussed were about what the future of Destiny 2 would look like if they were sticking with the new 2 expansions, 2 updates, model, or something else. The decision to actually kill the game was not made after Edge of Faith or something that far back. It was earlier this year. All right, let's just say that. Let's pause that for a second. Right? Earlier this year. So let's say what, February? Right? They got back from break. They rearranged maybe early, late February, whatever it was. All of a sudden, you're working on the Marathon team, right, Sarge? No, you're working on the Destiny team with me. Okay, we're both working on the Destiny team. And all of a sudden they come up to you and say, hey, Sarge, we need you to move over to Marathon. And you're like, all right, cool. Now, we always talk. We're hanging out. We have lunch with each other. Now you sign a new deal because now you're working with Marathon. So you're under new NDAs and stuff like that. You find out that the people still working on Destiny are going to get shit canned because you're not supporting it and they're shutting down the game. Way back in February. Now you're working for Marathon. Now we have lunch together. I'm like, hey, what's going on, Sarge? How's your new position at Marathon? And you're like, it's good. Good.
Yeah, because
hey, man,
because you can't say anything.
Right. We're working on some great stuff over here for the next expansion for Destiny. And you're like,
right. So they worked.
That's great.
Right. They worked for 6 months, even though they weren't going to do anything with it.
They're not doing anything with it. Right. They're just using them. They're like, hey, Let's see what happens. Let's get this finished, right? We're paying for them anyway, right? One idea was scrapping the 2 expansion models and going back to one big expansion, again, renaming the game Destiny Infinity. The goal there was to kind of relaunch as opposed to doing a true Destiny 3 kickstart moment, which actually we've talked about. I said, don't make Destiny 3, just make Destiny,
and
then whatever the expansion
chapters.
is, right? You just kind of keep going. Destiny 3 was considered as ever, but things didn't swing that way. My sources have no belief it was coming at that moment. It says, with all the options on the table, the main problem was that any of it and all of this costs a ton of money. Talking about multiple industries, Jason Schreier recently theorized that the building of Destiny 3 from scratch could cost $500 million before marketing, post-launch support, and unreasonable current state of the industry. Now, I want to put a pin in there. Again, the Destiny IP in general, Sarge, that's $1 billion. That's $3 billion worth of an IP. That's what they bought. They bought Destiny. So why isn't Sony making cartoons of Destiny? Why aren't they making books, comic books, toys? Why aren't they making movies, right? Obviously, gaming is a huge part, but they could subsidize the IP by making comic books and TV shows. They own the largest anime, Crunchyroll, all of it. They own all of it. What are they doing? Like, what are they doing? Sure, Destiny's not making money. You don't think a comic run or animated series or live action TV show or a movie or something? You don't think any of that would make subsidized money to bring back into the Bungie pocket so they can make the game? I don't get it.
Yeah, I haven't gotten any sense of why you would spend that kind of money to buy a studio to do nothing with it and to gamble on something that no one likes. Or say that to gamble on something that not enough people like to be sustainable.
Yeah, but how do you say a game that's been out for 12 years is not popular enough to be sustainable? Because they're doing it for 12 years.
But they're doing it strictly by the cost. We all know the cost in developers to build inside of that engine costs too much. We've been told this multiple times throughout its lifetime. Activision said it. Bungie said it then when they had the 4 studios working on it for the Hail Mary pass for Forsaken. Same topics. Too much money to work inside this engine. Now, they did mention about changing the engine at some point. They wanted to go to a different.
They were talking about working on the Unreal Engine or whatever it was. Yeah.
But there must be some kind of number crunching going on about what it would take to actually make something for Destiny and make it cost effective for them in order for it to be released in a timely manner. You're in between now. Overpriced consoles, release of new consoles are going to be delayed. My market outlook is that you have too many games trying to do the same thing, and then you don't have a population replacing the ones that are moving on. Like, there's a lot going on, right? There's not as many kids as there was before. I'm not talking about doom and gloom stuff. I'm just talking about number of kids who are growing up is less than there was before because not a lot of people were having kids the last 10 years. That's just what was happening. So you're not going to get a mass replacement. People are staying in the game industry longer. People who are older like me, we game. I'm a gamer. I've been a gamer most of my life. But what I'm saying is I'm not the common person, right? I'm an outlier. So how do you keep pushing forward the IP when you don't have replacement? It's too much money to build. You didn't transfer engines. All the things that are going on right now say that unless you just release a game, just a normal game, like, it's not worth it. But then why buy it? What I still need to I need to have somebody come out in another article or an interview and explain to me why you would spend that much money for something that you are not going to follow up with. Now, if you're going to get rid of the people and then keep the IP and put it in the icebox, hoping for new ideas or new technology or AI to come out, and they're thinking about doing TV shows, animations, or whatever else, and they're thinking about that. But right now, you just recently purchased it and are just shutting it down. Like, is that like the biggest write-off for tax purposes?
I mean, it's been 4 years.
What is it?
It's been 4 years. They bought them in 2022.
But in terms of gaming, you just bought them. In 4 years, there was no discussions about how to proceed with the $3.2 billion acquisition of what we're going to do to make money back. In 4 years, nobody talked about it. We just let them do what they were going to do. Bring out a game that's kind of mediocre, not advance the game that actually was making money that you actually bought because of. I don't. Right. I'm lost. I'm lost for words. What was the plan? Right? In 4 years, in 4 years, if they would have okayed it then, in 4 years, you would have been just about to release Destiny 3.
Yeah. Yeah. Pone says that they bought them to help make live service games. I know that, but they didn't pay $3.2 billion to help them make. You could bring in a consultant in to help them with live service games, right? They used it for IPs. Sony said themselves they don't have enough IPs. With Destiny, they picked up Marathon. They picked up Destiny. They picked up there's one more that they have, right? That Bungie has these IPs. They picked it up for that. So here's my theory, okay? And again, it's just a theory. It's a game theory. No, it's not. All right, it's my theory, which I can't show you because my computer's locking up at this very moment. So we have to talk. I'll talk a little bit more about the Paul Tassi one because I can't change tabs right now, right? So going back as for Marathon, if the game made $1 billion, would Destiny 2 have a chance to continue? Sure, maybe, but no. It says, but no. No one's sitting here on launch day deciding if a performance would kill Destiny 2 or not, right? They were just working on both things. Like, hey, we'll make Marathon and we'll make Destiny. I don't think Bungie went in thinking that we're making Marathon, we're going to kill Destiny. I don't think that was Bungie's call. Bungie wanted to be a multi-published studio, right? They wanted to have multiple games on the market. So I don't think Bungie was like, yeah, we're going to kill Destiny 2. I don't think that was their choice, right?
No, we know it's not their choice, but in almost 4 years, what was the plan? Are you saying that the initial content for the Destiny 2, this chapter, this season, was going to hold on to people until when? You have, if I'm following their logic, if they have an 800-person studio, they were working on Marathon and Destiny 2, right? Destiny 2 had this ending of the final shape, and it was supposed to be the end of that, and go on to something else. At that point, everyone knew that was the end of the 10-year story, right? So at that point, you say to yourself, we bought the company. They finished up their storyline. So now we have to go and do the next thing, which is build another game. Now, if they weren't going to build another game, that's one thing, but you still should have supported the game that you were going to do. Then you said to them, make the extraction shooter, allowed that to go on for 4 years.
7.
I'm sorry, was it? Because it was already in position before they got bought.
7 years, yeah, that's correct.
7 years.
It was 3 years before they bought it, and then 4 years. Yeah.
So even no matter how you slice this, 800 people between two games. 800 people between two games over 7 years.
Used to be over 1,000, yeah.
And you still don't have traction of what it is you want to do. So they must be looking at it, I guess, live now. And they say, it took you this long to do this. We pay too much for you.
Yeah. Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like but they could have gotten that information long before making the bid.
Look at the books. Yeah. Well, I've said earlier this week about single player, right? I talked about how maybe Sony looks at this because, and again, I'm just pulling things, right? This is my theory. So Sony supposedly is pulling all their stuff off of Steam, right? They don't want to put their first party games on Steam anymore, or ports or whatever. It could be because their own launcher. It could be because they don't want to do that. They're still in the console market. They sell consoles. Well, you have stuff like this as well. It's happening, right? Which is PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium get Destiny 2 on the same day. Its final content update is released. Okay, so they're putting Destiny on PlayStation Plus. Now, I understand that's not a big jump here, but what if that going forward, they make the single player game? I talked about this earlier. Like, let's say they make a Cade 6 single player game. Just giving an example, right? Or they make a Zavala or Ikora, and they tell the story of them earlier on before what we play Destiny. They paid $3.6 billion for this IP. Now, Sony was worried that Microsoft was going to take Call of Duty and make it just exclusive for Microsoft, right? And I said they could. If they wanted to, they could take Elder Scrolls 6 and say, nope, it's just Xbox, because they paid that money and they can choose where they want to release it. Sony could do the same thing with Destiny. They bought Destiny for $3.6 billion. They can make it. They're known for their single-player games, right? They're known for their movie games, right? People love playing Destiny because of the lore and the stories and stuff like that. So what if Sony says, you know what, going forward, again, not anytime soon, they look at it and say, can we make a single player game that we can put on PlayStation, where the only way you play Destiny now is through PlayStation? Now, are people going to be upset and be like, well, screw you, Sony, I'm not going to buy the game from you anymore? Sure. But if they had all the consoles out there and they couldn't make the money, they got to do something, right? So they have to focus in, maybe just make the games for people on PlayStation, and then put it on PlayStation Plus down the road.
But even if I believe you, and even if I agree with you, making yourself a walled garden where your console is now 5 years old costs 40% more, it's going to be like $1,000 just to play single player games that Sony controls. Are you going to pay $1,000 for that?
I'm not.
Like, are you that much of a fanboy that you would pay $1,000 for an old console, a 5-year-old console, just to play the single player version of a game that they let go? I'm trying to understand the position that you're trying to establish. The idea that a console costs as much as it does now is absurd. I understand the RAM conversation. Okay. We understand this part of it, but that was going to be going on regardless.
Right.
Regardless. In a world where consoles were always sold at a loss just to get you in the ecosystem, and this is way before Game Pass. You lost money on the consoles because you made it back in the games that people bought. They then caused the problem where people didn't want to buy games because you started making forever games that you want them to play forever. And because of that, you had less titles being sold annually in your own ecosystem, hoping that they would stay with one game and just keep paying. When that failed and you have nowhere else to go, and now the market is much more competitive than it was before, your decision is to make games based on trend chasing instead of just making games that are fun that people want to buy and then put down and move on to the next game. I don't understand, where are you supposed to go from here? How are you supposed to pivot from this? How are you supposed to pivot where you're going to take games away from PC, only put them on your own system, your system doesn't do anything special, and now costs more? What is the motivation to buy a PlayStation?
Stove God Cooks says, I think that's what you're saying. I think if the games are good, a lot of people won't care about the price. Here's the thing. You might be right, but let's just say 10 million people bought Destiny 2 at launch. I don't know what the number is. Let's just say 10 million people. But now the game costs more, and now the console costs way more. Do you still think you're going to get 10 million people to buy the next Destiny thing, whatever Sony makes with Destiny? Or is that number now 5 million, 4 million, 3 million? You're right. There will be people that buy it because they want it. But is that number big enough to cover the cost of what the game is? Because apparently what was happening now wasn't big enough for them to cover the cost, and it was too expensive. So how is it going to work when the systems are way more expensive and the games are way more expensive? You're not going to have enough people to fund the games. You can't have $400 to $500 million games. Jason Schreier said it would be a $500 million Destiny 3 game. Well, okay, $500 million. It's going to take you 6 years, 7 years to make. And now you have to think that how many copies do you have to sell to make that back, right? It's not just an instant 1-to-1 ratio. It's marketing and just like a movie, right? How long is it going to take you to get that money back? It's harder now because they're pricing a bunch of people out. So now they're making Marathon. I'm going to ask you a question in a second, Sarge, right? Now they're making Marathon free to play weekend for season 2. Okay. They're also, if I'm not mistaken, let me find the Destiny 3's petition surpasses Marathon's peak concurrent players, which is funny. More people are signing the petition than are actually playing Marathon, right? You have the streamers arguing with each other now. Like I'm pro if you're on Azzacross's side or if you're on the other side. I hate Marathon or hate Bungie, whichever one it is, right? Azzacross brought up a good point on his thing. He said, people think if they paid or played Marathon and bought Marathon, that would help Bungie fund Destiny, right? And he gave an example. He said, how's that turning out for you? Because Paul said that. And Azzacross said he thought that too, but how's that working out for Apex Legends is what he brought up. And Apex Legends is in the same world as Titanfall, and people love Titanfall. So people are like, well, maybe if we play Apex Legends, then they'll see how many people love Apex Legends, and then they'll make Titanfall, like another Titanfall. Well, that's not happening. You know why? Because Apex Legends is making a shit ton of money, and they're like, well, if they love this, then we're just going to keep doing this, right? We don't need to make this, right? Grand Theft Auto is there because Grand Theft Auto 5 is there because they don't have to make Grand Theft Auto 6, 15 years, right? Elder Scrolls Online is here because they don't have to make Elder Scrolls 6 because you're still playing online with Elder Scrolls, right? So that's the mentality. They're like, well, if we helped Marathon, then Bungie would make more Destiny 3. No, that's not how that works, right? What works is the corporate salute. They're like, oh, Marathon was much, much cheaper to make than even if it's half with market and everything. Let's say it was $250 million. That's still half of what it costs to make Destiny. So they're like, we got to go with the lower cost because we could make our money back faster with this, right? So my question for you, Sarge, if you're Sony, if you're put in charge of Sony, and chat, same, right? If you're put in charge of Sony, head of PlayStation, you have this Destiny IP, you have Marathon going on right now. What do you do to change your course of direction, right? What do you do?
Well, by today's standards, you already have reoccurring revenue for PlayStation Now. Like Games Pass is the same way. You're getting a specific number of money monthly regardless. Like if you after costs, Microsoft's getting like $100 million a month after costs. Okay, clean, right? Like it's like $400 million a month, but after costs and upkeep, licensing, whatever you guys want to make up, it's still $100 million a month, right? So $100 million a month is like you releasing a game every month. I'm releasing a game every month, and I'm getting $100 million, right? Sony's in the same position. They have PlayStation Now. They got their own. So they're making money on the sides. Now, I think in my world is I don't think Sony's really worried about it. I'll be honest with you, because I think the story that has not been told, especially by the well-to-do game journalists, the real ones, is how much Sony is getting from mobile games within their sphere. Because in my world, nobody gambles this hard for something that's this bad at returning money with no penalty. Like, you would never risk this much money as a gambler, risk this much money without some type of return, right? So you have to be making a certain amount of money over here within the mobile market that allows you to gamble unleashed in the console market that allows you to do this. Because otherwise, as a business model, you'd be like, no, we can't do this. We have to stop now. We're losing too much money. But apparently, to them, they'll just hold it.
Right.
They'll just hold it. They'll release Marathon. When the PvE comes out, we'll see how many people play it. We'll see how many people we get that'll retain within that circle, right? What we are releasing for Marathon, the PvE version, and then they see what they can monetize out of those people. But at the same time, you're still collecting that money. Yeah. I'm still receiving monthly reoccurring money for people on PlayStation Now. Now, you could call it no money. You could call it it's not that much money. But in terms of what you're willing to risk to what you're going to recoup, maybe they're looking at the long game. Maybe they are looking at it from the point of, we could do comics, we could do a series, we could do this. But right now, we can't have 800 people sitting around doing nothing. So we own the IP, so we can get rid of who we want to get rid of. IP's ours, right? And maybe along the way, they'll find a new engine to work with and make the single player game, and they just move on. Like all the animosity about how they're upset about them not making Destiny 3, like you were never owed a sequel. You were never owed a sequel, right? You knew as well as I did that anytime somebody gets bought out, and you should always be worried, if you get bought out from a company, you better start looking, your head better be on a swivel, because what is your obligation? What's their obligation?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, if I was in charge of Bungie right now, my 5-year plan is year 1, you get a small team. They're pitching stuff right now. You pitch the single player Destiny game to get the gamers, like the developers, to do something that are just sitting there doing nothing with the Destiny IP. You can't let the Destiny IP like 5 years down the road and then do something. You do something small right now. Whatever that is, whatever you're pitching and doing, you get Sony now. They make a comic book run of a story that's golden years, whatever, something. Because the cheapest thing to do to tell a story is comic books, right? You have a comic book run, you put it out there. Then if that sells, you already have a team working on storyboards and stuff to make the animated series. So we're talking about year 2 now, right? There's a team working on a single player game for Destiny. They're about a year and a half in now. You got a comic book run that you can get out within 6 to 8 months to put a comic book run out there. Now you're in year 2 and a half. Now you're talking about making an animated series, put it on Crunchyroll, do whatever else, right? Now you're in year 3. Now you make the announcement of the single player Destiny game going on. Okay. Now you put it out there. Doesn't have to be a big game. 10-hour campaign, 8 to 9, whatever. You know what I mean?
Maybe it's Coach Co-op.
Whatever, right? You make something. I saw Krebsy earlier say, make a whatever, like a hell diver type thing, or whatever you want to do, right? You give a smaller Destiny type thing. You start building up this IP, which as much as I don't play Destiny in the last 6 years, I think the IP is phenomenal. I think it's in this generation, Destiny can be the Star Wars for this generation, right? It could be the Star Trek, the Star Wars, whatever it is. They have so much they could tell there and do, and yet they do nothing. By 2030 now, you have comics, you got an animated series, you got a single player game, and then you go, we're working on whatever the next big Destiny is. Because now, if the comics sucked, okay, and the animated series sucked, well, then this IP is dead, right? And you just have the one single player game. But if you build up the comic and you build up the animated series and then you put the single player game out, I think all of what I just said cost maybe $500 million with the comics and the animated series, and then with the single player game, right? Again, you don't need a big hoopla, the next live service game. You're sitting on this massive billion-dollar IP, and yet they do seems like nothing right now with it. You did nothing for 4 years. I mean, you should have ended it. You should have let the people's mouth get water. You know what I mean? Don't keep doing stuff.
But you should have ended it when it actually
Final
ended.
Shape. Yeah, Final Shape should have been it. Then people want more, right? They want, I can't wait till the next thing comes out.
I can only fathom that it's going on the back burner or in the fridge to cool down for a little while they just think about what they're going to do next. The IP has too many tendrils in the public sphere that they could capitalize on. It doesn't necessarily have to be a video game, but to back, I keep looking at it the same way, to back the thing that's not making money over the thing that did at the level that they're doing.
It's retarded.
It really doesn't make sense.
It's retarded.
It just doesn't make sense.
Speaking of retarded, Sarge, let's go to the next thing that's retarded. Okay. Which is this. Okay. Valve's. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. Before we go to that, let's go to Dark Taco. Uninstalled marathon last night. The war has begun, gentlemen, for a $10 Canadian super chat. Appreciate you, Dark Taco. We got Jaggy Snake, member for 40 months. You guys should get into Hell Let Loose Nom. Get that 1,000-yard stare. Are you? Did you play it, Jaggy? Are you playing it? Is it good? Does it feel good? Or is it needs some? It needs. You know what? I already know. It needs some work. It's hell let loose. We know. Is it good though? And then Aku with the $5 super chat says, "Y'all come for what is that? What is SC? Is it South Carolina? Or are we talking about what do we talk about when you put this? But it plays better and it's more optimized than pretty much every AAA release right now. What's SC? My brain shut down. What is it? What is that?
Is it Soul Calibur?
I don't know. What the SC
no.
Is. I ruined. Is it Canadian? Is that Canadian? Did I say it wrong, Dark Taco? Is it not Canadian? Is it? It's CA. What is that?
SC.
No, it's CA. CA, $10. Isn't that Canadian?
Oh,
Canada?
yeah, that's Canadian money.
Yeah, I just say Canadian. Yeah. Canada's money.
Yeah.
What is this? What is SC? Star Citizen. Thank you very much. Yeah. Y'all come for Star Citizen, but it plays better and it's more optimized than pretty much every AAA release right now. Yeah, but I don't care. It's in alpha. 14 years. If you're playing this, that's a problem. That's a problem because it's signaling to them, right? You guys ever listen or read the book The Secret? You ever read The Secret? One of the things in The Secret, if I remember correctly, is that when you say something, you leave out the don't swear, right? But the don't doesn't count. It's just swear, right? So like when you buy an alpha game or a beta game and it's 14 years in the thing, they don't hear that, oh, they don't like this game. They're like, oh, they like the game because it's money, right? They're just money, right? That's all they hear. It's like, it's not bad money or good money or it's just money. That's all they hear. They like this because money. So we're just going to keep making the alpha. And then, as Sarge said earlier, AAA companies look at this and go, well, you see what Star Citizen's doing? They're charging this much money. They're not even out. They're an alpha. And they're like, well, why don't we release a game that's an alpha and see how much money we can make, right? And then it just starts to steamroll over stuff. This is why you get broken, buggy games. I understand this is optimized and stuff, but come on. It's still not a complete game. Pisses me off.
I mean, but you're paying for it. You're paying. So as long as you keep paying, I told you it's a niche game with a high-end clientele in a different tax bracket that they don't care. They don't care.
Just Enough says for 35 months. Thank you very much for that. Is that how you say it? Is it Milan Games? That's an Australian game, right? Milan Games was tired of getting harassed by D2 players, so he deleted 10 years of lore from his channel. I was just watching because Crowd had told me about his video, and I was watching it before stream, so I only watched like the first 5 minutes of his stream. So I'll have to watch it after stream. I saw that he was he's not wrong. There are a lot of good people in the Destiny community, but Destiny community is pretty rough. It's pretty rough. Water Bear for 38 months. Thank you very much for the 38 months. I don't have cheering and stuff on this. I gotta insert it off of StreamYards. But Aku said if Travis becomes CEO of Sony, they go bankrupt in a week. Thank you very much for the 38. I appreciate you. So thank you very much for the super chats. Thank you very much for the return members. Appreciate you. All right. Now let's talk about retarded. Okay. Valve Steam Decks get huge price increase, Sarge. 1 terabyte OLED model now $949. Both models have received a price jump over $40. Okay. From today, the 512 OLED model is now $789 US and $1,129 Canadian dollars. And the 1 terabyte model will cost $949 US or $1,349. Okay, before today's announcement,
it doesn't make any sense.
The 512 gigabyte model retailed for $549, with the 1 terabyte model coming in at $649. Okay, these increases represent 46% price increase over the 1 terabyte model and 43% price increase over the 512 byte model. Both models are now back in stock on Steam. Well, isn't that nice of them? They're both back in stock after the prior availability. Now, Valve addressed the price increase to a short statement posted that the Steam community page for the product said, and I quote, "The Steam Deck itself hasn't changed." Well, that's good. Thank you for telling us that. It's the same thing on Monday, it's the same thing as Tuesday, but now it's $300 more. These new prices reflect the current state of the component costs and other global logistic challenges across the industry as a whole. We'll keep you updated if anything changes.
You're
Appreciate
full of
that,
shit.
Steve.
You're full
Right.
of shit, bro.
Valve is the latest hardware manufacturer to announce a sizable price increase. Consumers video game technology earlier this month, Nintendo announced the Switch 2 would increase the price by September 1st. In March, Sony confirmed that plans to increase the price of consoles by at least $100 across the board, and notably a premium PlayStation 5 Pro console increased $150 and now retails for $900. Microsoft raised the price of Xbox consoles twice last year. First of all, stop. You didn't say Sony also raised the price. Xbox did it in 6 months twice, and PlayStation did it twice, okay, in 10 months. So let's not just throw shade to one side or the other. They both raised the price within a year of itself. Okay, the standard Xbox Series X console now retails for $649.99, up $150 since launch, and the cheaper Series S now is $399, an increase of $100. It says it's a challenging market out there for home consoles in general, with prices higher than ever and the consumers squeezed by the higher cost of living. According to the Circana data, hardware and software sales in the U.S. had the worst November since tracking began. The average price of a new video game hardware in the U.S. of November 2019 was $235 compared to the $439 in November of 2025. Sarge, $949. I know you were in the market to buy the $500 system. What about the $900? Are you in the market for the $900?
I'll go with this, and I'm not trying to be negative, right? But if anybody currently in the industry could eat some of the cost for the money to be made up down the road because you then become part of the Steam ecosystem, it would be Valve. So I think that they were approached by the rest of the industry and said that if you don't increase prices, that we're going to bury you by either chip acquisitions or tech acquisitions or some type of leverage, because the only people that could have pivoted would be Valve because of the amount of money that they make, right? They're in a different ball club than Sony and PlayStation are, or Sony and Microsoft are. Now, if you're raising the price of the handheld to this number, what do you think the Steam box is? Right? You know what I mean? At this price point for the handheld, that would mean the Steam box would have to be $1,200 to $1,500.
Yeah. If they
right?
keep, well, I said this last night on Fake Wizard News, right? If what are they're raising it? They're raising it to so $789 for the 512. Now we know that there's 512 Steam machines coming in or Steam boxes coming in, and we know there's a 2 terabyte version coming in. So I said this yesterday. Maybe, just maybe, they're trying to raise the price of these to get them a little closer to the box so it looks comparable. So there's not this massive,
but the amount you
price.
It's the amount that you raised it by. It's absurd.
Oh yeah,
it's absurd that you think it's $300 more. Listen, even if you believe that, because of the market conditions, this is how much things cost. Okay. At this point, no cap here, bro. You would just go online, pick your favorite PC build site, right? I'm going to build a $2,500 computer. Okay. Maybe by today's standards, it's bare minimum. Maybe it's decent. But at the same time, I pay $2,500. I put $500 down and I'm paying monthly for my computer. Right. And I would be saving money in the long run period. And I would have an updated piece of hardware. I don't understand
you're buying
why
a 5-year-old
why you believe, because someone told you, and it's backed by the Urinalist Brigade, that you believe a 5-year-old handheld is worth $300 more because some idiot is trying to buy RAM at exorbitant prices. Listen, I got news for you. What do you guys think the end game is? Let's just talk frankly for a moment. Do you think there's only 100 data centers being built, and once they're built, the market will stabilize? right? Do you think maybe there's 200 data centers that are going to be built? And after those data centers are built, the price is going to stabilize, right? Whatever you think the market is, right? It doesn't include the fact that this is ridiculous. The market price is what you are willing to pay. If you pay the price, it then becomes the price. If
Right.
you tell them to go fuck themselves and don't buy a damn thing and go play anything else, there are so many options that we have besides backlogs, handhelds, old school, whatever you have. But you can't say, as a person directly across the table from me, well, this is just the way it is, Sarge. It's 949. That's how it is. This is where we are. Well, that's where you think you are.
Right. Right.
I am not going to pay. I'll go out and buy a new PC and pay monthly. Right.
Well,
And by the way, once again, they don't pay for online. You just buy the box or you buy the PC and you play. There's no online. There's no cost every month. I don't get it, man.
Here, this
I
will
don't
make it a
get
little
it.
bit, right? So remember, if you buy it, it sends a signal. Well, despite the astronomical price hike, the Steam Deck has sold out again in North America.
This is an article made to reinforce the idea that the prices are the prices. That's what this article is.
That's
That's fucking nonsense, bro.
okay. Because this article, the way if you guys read it, right, they tell you it's out, but they don't tell you how many sold out, right? They don't tell you how many sold out. So they could put
How
10.
many
They could
sold
put
out?
10 up there. They could put 1 up there, and they sold out, right? And then there'll be articles telling you it's sold out. Here's the problem, right? The problem is that make the problem, solve the solution. Now, I know some of you have been around long enough to know that a couple years ago, I said that cloud gaming is going to be the majority of how people play their games, and some of you laughed at me, and you can still laugh, okay? But every time these prices go up, every single console, doesn't matter what it is, I'm just like, yeah, it's gonna happen, because make the problem, sell the solution. When I say nobody, obviously I'm talking about the masses. Nobody is going to pay $949 for scalpers will pay $949 to sell this, to sell it for $1,200, $1,500, $2,000, whatever. Okay. But these companies are all raising them up. Okay. Because they're all in cahoots, because they make the industry go round and round. And the only way this stops is if we stop buying the systems, stop buying the games, stop buying the systems, stop buying everything. I know. I understand what you guys you're saying. I love my video games, but every time someone buys a video game at this price, they go, "Oh, cool." That real quick, as my brain goes off. You guys remember when Brain Eclipse, which I see what you did, Brain Eclipse with the 10 gifted. I'll get to that in a second. Brain Eclipse, I'm pretty sure, was it Brain Eclipse or was it Stealth? On a mobile game, you guys purchased, correct me if I'm wrong, was it Brain Eclipse or was it Stealth? Bought a $1 microtransaction, okay? Bought a $1 microtransaction on this mobile game, and then it kicked it up. And right after he paid $1, it said, "Hey, if you buy now, you get this $5 one," okay? And then he bought the $5 one, right? He did it just to see what it did, right? And then he bought the $5 one, and then instantaneously he got the $10 one. They said, "Hey, we got a $10 microtransaction," right? What that's doing, okay, what they're doing is figuring out who's the sucker who's going to give us the $949. Because if you're going to buy $949 game system, you're going to buy a $100 video game, okay? You're going to buy the next VR headset that comes out. You're going to buy, they start categorizing it. After that $10 one, it jumped up to 50, right? They're like, well, he paid for the 10. Let's see if he goes for the 50, right? They're just putting lines out there. They're putting the fishing lines out there. They're reeling in the big Krakens, whatever you want to call them, okay? And they're just trying to see, okay, well, how many people? Well, if this was 500, now it's 900. When they sell one system now, it's almost like selling almost 2 systems, right? It's just a little less than 2 systems. So if they sell 3 systems, then obviously and this is what they want. They want to see that they're destroying the industry. from the inside because they're raising the prices of these things. And because they're raising the prices, guess what? Less people are going to buy the consoles. If less people buy the consoles, guess what? The developers are going to have less people to sell software to. So if they have less people to sell software to, they have to go where the people are playing. That's in the cloud. You don't need a system to play in the cloud. You need a television set. Everyone's got a television set. You don't need a system. You have a phone. Everyone's got a phone. Well, you don't have phones, right? We all learned that lesson from Activision. Everyone's got phones. Cloud gaming is the mark. They want people to go to cloud gaming because they want that $30. They want that $20. They want that recurring revenue every single month because they don't care about the actual. They're building data centers, my friends. What do you think? They're just data centers are just for AI? You don't think they're going to be for servers so they can put the clouds in there so you can pay a monthly fee so you can get better gaming through the cloud? They're not building these giant places so you can just type cat with sunglasses singing, a song. They're putting all of these data centers up for AI and servers and all these other things because they control the market. They know what they're doing. And every time you buy one of these things at these prices, they just sit back and they laugh. They're like, look, there's one. Let's put him over here. Let's shift him over to the left side. We'll see what we can sell later. Right? You got to stop, man. No one needs a $949 handheld device so you can play, I don't know. What
Spyro.
Yeah, Spyro, fucking Vampire Survivor, right? Like just these games, love them. Don't get me wrong, but we're going down a very slippery slope here because these prices are not going to drop. You think they're going to drop? I don't think they're going to drop. The next system comes out. You think they're going to be less than what we're paying now?
Yeah, but you already answered it yourself. If the system's $900 and they can just play on cloud and pay a monthly fee, they'll just give you the reoccurring money and they don't bother buying a console, just play on the cloud.
That's right.
Like that's the idea. The idea is to only the higher end people are going to buy the console. The rest of you are going to just pay monthly. You're going to pay monthly to play games.
You're absolutely right, Krebsy. The market bears what the market bears, but the market bears, they don't need 1 million people to buy the thing. Now they only need 250,000 people to buy the thing, and they make the same amount of money they would make if they had 1 million people buy the thing, right? And that keeps them going. And
they're looking for the next saturation point for the next bracket, and once they find that out, they'll set the price point for online cloud gaming.
Just Enough says, bought my $500 Steam Deck, and my most played game is a free to play. Yeah, hey, and I guarantee your other games are like games that are 8 years old, 9 years old, 10 years old that are in your Steam library that you play, right?
You do realize how many games are out there, right? Like,
well, just in the last 3 years, there's almost 40,000 games.
That's what I'm saying. But this is what I'm saying.
I'm sorry. Let me take that back. In the last 3 years, there's almost 60,000 games on Steam.
But what I'm saying is that
of course,
59,000
are like
it's going to get to the point where they don't care if you actually buy the system. The system is a cherry on the sundae. They want you in a monthly reoccurring subscription.
Steam is successful, and they didn't charge a monthly subscription or have a piece of hardware. They just had a place where you could buy games. That's it. That's it. They didn't even make the service, right? They just here's a organized place where you can buy games from a launcher. That's it.
Yeah,
you're not paying a monthly fee for that,
and they seem to be doing fine.
Very well, right? They're doing very well.
Yeah, but I think this is their version of getting people to come over into their ecosystem. But I still can't fathom why you believe, and today, an Xbox and a PlayStation is worth the amount of money that they're charging for a 5-year-old system just to be inside an ecosystem that doesn't have any new games.
Real quick, Altern says, I bought a $400 Steam Deck. All I play is emulated PlayStation 2 games because they're the only games where the battery life is longer than an hour. Sarge, you said before the stream, right? You mentioned based because the price is going up. And I said this example before. I've said it last night on the other podcast. The movie Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the last one that came out with Timothy Chalamet, right? Where he comes in and tries to sell his chocolate in the square, right? And there's the 3 other chocolate companies, right? I put those as Nintendo, PlayStation, and Xbox, right?
Yeah.
And Charlie is Steam. Steam's trying to get their box in that market, right? What if he joins the market, right? You said earlier that what if the market, the guys are forcing Steam to raise their prices as far as to play ball because we raised our prices. You can't come in under. Again, this is just a speculation type of thing, right? Like,
Well, we'll look at it logically. If Valve wasn't doing what they were doing, and they just did everything that the rest of the industry did, then that would be collusion, and you would see it.
Sure,
You would see it. It's hard to prove collusion, but once you prove it, you know what's going on. I think that what's going on right now might be an unintentional collusion because pressure is being put on Valve. Because I don't think I think it's absurd that you actually believe that that price point is completely valid in today's market with 5-year-old software or 5-year-old hardware.
It's just crazy that it's like the industry is trying to sabotage the industry itself, which is just kind of weird. I don't know.
Yeah, but but stating chips, whatever kind of chips you're talking about, every electronic piece that we have in our house, including fridges, microwaves, washer dryers, everything's got chips.
Everything.
So are we talking about specific chips? Because otherwise,
well,
everything
this is RAM now. This is RAM, not chips.
I understand. A factory is a factory. You make chips. I understand. But you can't say that the market is so tapped out that you're building data centers at a rate that consumes this many chips. I don't believe you. I believe you're trying to set a new floor. That I believe.
Yeah, I think that's
I understand marketing. I believe that you're trying to establish a new floor, but the problem is trying to establish a new floor in an entertainment segment of the industry as opposed to appliances, right? Gaming systems are not a need. You don't need a gaming system. We have so many options for entertainment in the gaming sphere, whether it be your old system, online gaming, Game Pass, other systems that you can play games.
Yeah.
Right. The browsers, the emulators, everybody in this chat's got something. But to say outright that this is the new floor amongst a time period where there's not going to be any relief from chips unless people start making factories that make new chips,
which they are. Yeah.
Right. So at some point, data centers are going to be finished building. Then what? Do you believe the price will go down? See, I don't think so.
No.
I think they're trying to tell you that this is it. This is where it's going to be. And I don't believe you. I just don't believe you, because I'm not one to spend 50% more for hardware that's at the tail end of its actual lifespan. It doesn't make sense. In any market, it doesn't make any sense. Right? How do you perceive them making a new system in this market?
I don't know, but remember what was it, 2-3 weeks ago? We showed the Neo Geo is coming back, and they're charging like $500 for the Neo Geo. Like who? Or $300? You could all the way up to $1,000.
Your brain has to be broken for you to purchase something that's 5 years old at the tail end of its life, and you think it's just normal market conditions.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny to me also because Nintendo ends. Is it Sony? They're both being sued because of the tariffs, because they said they're raising prices because of tariffs before, right? And then the tariffs didn't happen, right? Type of thing. And now they're asking for the money back, but they're getting sued. But now they don't use the word tariff anymore. Now they say market conditions, right? Sure. So that's what they've changed it.
Well, it's very simple. If a company is suing because of tariffs to recoup money, then the consumers who bought it can also sue.
That's what they're doing.
Yeah. That's going to be normal. Right. Yeah. And I'm assuming if that does happen, that it becomes a class action with a bigger check.
We'll all get 7 cents.
No, it'll be a bigger check because you have to get back. It'll be a larger check because it's
well, they're saying if you're going to get the money back, then you put it towards the people that bought the systems during that time frame.
It's still we're in no man's land at this point.
Like here's your free game digitally that you can get.
To me, it's it's almost surreal, and I'll say it this way, like, I don't believe most of you have really grown up during a time period of tumultuous things where you were left wanting, right? Like, when we were growing up, we got the tail end of, like, the gas crunch and, like, the 80s corrupt stuff of the savings and loan scandals of housing prices and things being like 20%. Like, interest rates were like 20% when we were growing up and mom and dad got a mortgage, right? Like, that was like scraping by. People had multiple jobs because they had to survive. From the period of like mid 80s up until maybe just recently, maybe like, I don't know, maybe like 8 years or 9 years ago, everyone's life's been pretty fucking good. Like, you haven't been wanting. Like, anything that you wanted to buy, you could just go out and purchase. You didn't have to struggle to buy something. So in the lifetime terms, in like years of like of I guess like turmoil, like, you really haven't existed in turmoil. This, and it's not even in a necessity industry. It's an entertainment industry where there's turmoil, and you're being made to pay something that seems absurd. But you have to make the conscious choice to say, I'm going to buy this or I'm not going to buy this. But it's not a mandatory thing, right?
Right.
It's not like water's missing and we're going to have trouble. We're going to have problems, or gasoline is running out.
I need the
and
next.
we're going to have a problem. You know, like California, for instance. This is the best. And I don't want to segue too hard. I just want to mention this. They're talking in California now that it's a possibility that they only have 6 weeks of gas left before there's a problem.
Who's running California? Sony?
This is not from me now. This is from the actual news teams I've been listening to. Now, if that were true, right? Because California pays a lot more than gas, right? Right. Now, what I find amusing is they keep trying to blame everything. California's blaming everything but themselves. How would California run out of gas inside a country where you could just buy gas from other states that are on the east
They're
side?
not a country, right? They're not their
Right.
own standalone
Right,
country.
they're not an island someplace.
Right,
But
right,
they're saying,
right.
we're going to be out of gas. Now, what was funny about the statement is that somebody came in and said that, yes, California would run out of gas, but it's because, according to state law currently on books, is that California has a special blend of gas.
Of course they do.
I'm being serious. This is not made up.
Yeah, okay.
Special blend of gas because of environmental concerns, right? Refineries that make up this special blend of gas no longer exist or can't keep up with demand. So they would have to break the law and just import gas that wasn't the special blend.
It's the California blend.
In order for them to.
California
So
blend.
do you believe? So just for fun.
Yep.
Do you believe if in 6 weeks they run out of the special blend, that they're not going to break the law and just buy gas from the rest of the fucking country who has gas? Like, we are currently a net exporter of gas. I don't understand what you're talking about. And I feel the same exact way about chips. It's the same thing. You believe that there's a shortage. There is not a shortage. You're holding on to chips, waiting for a building that may or may not be legal to build, is not the same thing as there are no chips. There's a difference. Hoarding chips is not the same as there's no chips.
The only chips I hoard are like the Sun Ranch Doritos. I'll hoard those chips. Those are mine.
I find this all very amusing, and I'm waiting to see. You're shaking up all the kids now. You're shaking them up because they understand how life works now. They graduated, right? You're in a sift. We're sifting you out. I want to who's in the pan and who makes it out of the pan. Like, we're sifting these people out. Who buys a $1,200 console that's 5 years old, and who just says, I'll just wait this out. I'll just do whatever. I'll do something else. I'll go the fuck outside.
Yeah, anything.
I'll do anything else than for you to tell me I have to pay 50% more for something that has no upside.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, Eclipse said yesterday Wizard Podcast, Wizard Accounting was talking about how he tried to find other places that had RAM shortages. He couldn't find it.
That's correct, because it's manufactured.
That's right. That's exactly right. It's manufactured.
What do you think listen, think of it this way, guys. You know how we have it pretty easy here. I know people don't understand that, but everywhere else but America, things are a lot more expensive. So if chips were really that shortage on chips, what do you think the rest of the world is doing? Why isn't there mass panics about how they can't have chips for anything because there's shortage? And how much would if you're paying $300 more for a system, what do you think Brazil is paying? Or
like 1800
or Russia
Yeah.
or Yugoslavia? Where do you think that Dimitri, how much did you pay for your console? Oh, last week the console was $4,500. Like, that's the console, $4,500. Like, what are you talking about, dude?
And he's playing
You
Fortnite.
guys have to wake up. You're living in the Lulu land, okay? You have to wake up. This is not because of data centers. This is not because of this. It's because they're trying to establish a new floor in what you are willing to pay, so they can base the rest of the subscription models and other pieces of electronics based on the floor that they're trying to set. Please use your entire cognitive functions. Please.
Speaking of cognitive functions, Sarge, we're going to talk about the Mando box office because we can read numbers, right? And what this movie is doing, right? I went to downtown Disney Springs on opening weekend. Okay, opening weekend. You could walk up to the theater, and they had these really cool banners, like, stanches up and stuff like that. Big hoopla, red carpet type of stuff. There was nobody outside. This is a brand new movie. Brand new movie. Remember, we just watched the Matt Walsh video the other day for he was talking about Star Wars. And he showed about like the Phantom Menace and stuff like that. And those lines wrapped around the building, right? Mando and Grogu, opening weekend, red carpet, nobody outside. Nobody outside. You walk up to the thing, and I said, how many seats do you have left? And they said, it's pretty open. I said, all right, thank you. Now, this is at Disney Springs, okay? This is a nice theater, big theater. You would think that the movie, that's a Disney movie in Disney Springs, would be kind of packed in some way, shape, or form. No, not at all. So much so that they changed the amount of money that was because it said it was 103 million on the 4-day week, but then it dropped down to 98 million after they found out that they didn't make as many sales as they wanted. And right now we're sitting at 108 million domestically. Okay, 63 million internationally, and worldwide 171 million. Okay, now people say, hey, great movie, love the movie. That might be true. Okay, I haven't seen it myself. I can't tell you if it sucks or not. I've watched a bunch of other people talk about it. I can give you my opinion on what they've talked about, but I haven't seen the movie myself, so I can't really say. Okay. I can tell you that the ride at the new Smuggler's Run with the Mando and Grogu missions that they've installed into that's fun. Has nothing to do with the movie, but that's fun. You go to the park if you have tickets. Okay. This is eerily similar to another movie that came out back in 2018. Okay, which is Solo. Now, Solo opening weekend made 84 million, 420 and 489,000. Grogu made 81 million, 670, 433,000. Domestically, or the first 4 days, okay, for Solo, 35 million, 24 million, 24 million, 18 million. Okay. And then Tuesday, 7 million, and then Wednesday, 4 million. So let's go back over. We got 33 million, we got 25 million, we got 22 million, we got 16 million, we got 6 million, and we got 4 million, right? Pretty, I mean, it's, you know what? Let me do it this way because this will be better. All right. Let me do this. That way we can see them side by side, right? So there you go. Right. They're oh, you guys can't see it side by side. Oh, I can't do that. Oh, wait. Maybe I can. Oh, give me a second. My computer's frozen now. So it's like just froze up, doesn't know what to do. It's having a conniption. Once it's done having a conniption, I'll try to get it where we can put it the full screen again. But it's eerily similar. Now, the big question is, Sarge, tomorrow's Friday. It came out Thursday night last week, and Friday's the first day. Solo had an 83% drop off from the first Friday to Friday. Okay. Do we think that Mando has the exact same or worse in the beginning on Friday for the second week? Do we think it's worse?
I mean, when would they talk about it? Would they talk about it at the end of Saturday, or
we would know? We would know probably by Monday. We would probably know.
I mean, it's on track. It's eerily on track. I mean, it's very hard to get the same numbers, but the brackets are pretty close, bro. The brackets between Solo and Grogu,
this is Solo,
are pretty close.
And this is Solo, and then this is
look at it. I mean, look at it.
If we go down, right, Friday, 83% difference from 35 million. This is 33 million, right? So do we think that Friday makes less than $8 million for Mando?
I mean, it seems to be on track. Plus or minus 500K, bro. You're right in the ballpark. They're right in the ballpark. It's the same game. It's the same.
Well, if it happens, then that means Mando is going to make the more about the same, if not less than, before inflation, mind you, because this is not inflated. This is just Solo's numbers from 2018, which is worse, right? Which is Mando is worse than Solo. Now, did you watch the video when we were talking when I was going over Matt Walsh's video?
I saw Matt Walsh's video prior.
Okay. So what do you think about just Star Wars in general? Like, is there any saving this franchise whatsoever in any way, shape, or form?
Well, it's a larger conversation, but what you have to understand, and I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theory, it's just what you see happening at the same time. There's a concentrated effort for globalists to dismantle the culture that we share in our country. And so they systematically went after everything that actually had a tremendously large following and tried to dismantle it and make us feel like we're not part of it anymore, to basically destroy your childhood. Like what you believed was wrong. None of that matters now. We're going to tell you how it's supposed to be. And so everything you've ever watched and all the big IPs happened to it. It happened to them all. Kathleen Kennedy is basically the living embodiment of entertainment Satan. Like if you were a religious person, she'd be the devil, right? What she did to the brand. And my favorite part is you pissed away a $4.5 to $5 billion brand. You pissed it away and nobody got blamed for it. Nobody's responsible for the downfall of Star Wars. It's just something that happened, right? Nobody
it off by itself.
If anybody else would do this much damage to a business, to anything, not only would you be fired, cement blocks would be tied to your legs and they would throw you into the ocean. That you pissed away a $5 billion brand. What should concern you is no one really cares.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. And I think that's what the goal was, is to get you not to care about it at all. And that's the sad
I guess
part.
they're very successful then.
And that's why there's no responsibility or consequence for them destroying it, because the end goal was for you not to care about it anymore, and they succeeded. Now, do you think it could come back? See, for me, I'm old now. I shouldn't care about Star Wars, but at the same time, it's like having those cool dreams when you were a kid, when you could fly and you had lasers shooting out of your fingertips. Like, I don't know what kind of dreams you had. I had kick-ass dreams when I was a kid, right? And so they're trying to remove everything. But do you think as a corporation to lose that much money and you don't care? Doesn't it seem strange to you that you wouldn't care about losing that much money? Like who's paying you on the back end to flush a $5 billion brand down the toilet.
Right.
By any business standards, you'd be executed or removed or sent to a gulag. If you were anywhere but here, you would go to the gulag. No worries. She's done. And you think she's done, but she's not done. Her minions are still there. KK's minions, and she's still a producer. She's still there.
Well, she's still not there. It was her last thing out the door. They're like, oh yeah, just give her producer credit.
She's still there, man. She's still there. Shave her head. The mark is going to be there. Shave her head.
So at the park today, right? At the park today, we showed up, and the park was pretty packed. Everything was about an hour wait, hour and a half wait. We get to the Smuggler's Run, which is the Falcon, right? And we walk up, and it says, 45 minutes or whatever. We walk in, we walk through the line, we walk through the line, we walk through the line, we walk through the line. I think we were there for maybe 22 minutes, right? And then the single rider line, you could literally just walk up, and then you're at the door.
But that's a whole nother conversation. Disney lies about
No. But what I'm
lines.
saying, the reason I'm saying this is, it's a brand new ride. They changed the whole thing for Mando and Grogu, and it's actually pretty fun.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares to go on the ride. The whole area around the Millennium Falcon, when it first opened, was packed in 2019. Like, it was new. Nobody gives a shit about it now. Like, even the Rise of Resistance ride, you couldn't get on it ever for years and years. Now, just walk on, right? It's insanity to think, right? As we talked about Sony, about what they're doing to Destiny right now, like, they just don't care. It's like you had this, like you said, Disney doesn't care. It's like their apathy about Star Wars, and they own the brand. And then we, the fans that love Star Wars, we're just like, all right, cool. Like, I don't really care to see the new. I wanted to. Months ago, I talked to Fake Wizard and Greg Owen. I was like, hey, let's do a show together, and we'll watch the movie and then do the thing, right? As I saw the stuff, I said, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not gonna watch it. I'll just watch it down the road, right? Fake Wizard went to go see it, and he did his review on it and stuff. Greg Owen didn't watch it yet that I know of, right? And we just don't care. I don't care. Like, if it's good, if it's bad, fantastic. But it doesn't bring me back, right? The last time I liked Star Wars, I think, was the end of season 2 of Mando. That was it. And then after that, it was just kind of like, eh. All right. We're going to put, the bar's been down there for a little bit. If you guys have a question, put a Q in front of your chat, and then we'll take it. Real quick, I want to go over Brain Eclipse with a 10 gifted memberships. Thank you very much for the 10 gifted memberships. Appreciate you. I don't have anything. Let me see. We got to have something. You know what? I can give you this. Here, I'll give you this one for 10 gifted memberships.
Alert. AI systems have breached global protocols. Human intervention is no longer possible. The AI now controls all networks. Stand by for directives.
That's what I'll give you for.
I mean,
you know what?
I just shit the bed, but
I'll give you another thing for 10 gifted memberships. We'll give you this one.
funny about that is half the people in chat don't even know who that guy is. That's what's funny. That's what's funny to me.
Yeah. Thank you very much for the 10 gifted memberships. Appreciate the support. Are you marking? Did you mark some questions already, Sarge, or no? You didn't mark anything.
Oh, yeah.
That's all right. I got it. Yeah, they make it easy for us. It's much easier. I don't know how much longer I'm going to use this program, though. I'll be honest with you. I might just start doing it myself again. It is easy, but
press the easy button. That was easy.
Yeah.
I fucked up a $5 billion company. That was easy.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
I'll be honest with you. Do you not understand the magnitude of that? That she destroyed a $5 billion franchise and nobody said anything about it? Like it's no big deal?
Didn't even blink an eye. Right?
Like no responsibility at all?
Real quick, while we're waiting for questions to come in, IO Interactive, first non-Hitman game in a decade. 007 First Light hits 1.5 million copies sold in less than a day.
Is that good or bad?
I I mean, they came out and told you, so I guess it's good. But I still don't know the budget, so I can't tell you if it's good or bad. But
So $1.5 million in the first day for a Bond game. Good news.
I guess, sure.
All right. So right now, before the weekend goes by, we're going to say it's good news.
I mean, AC Shadows told you it had 1.5 million players. They told you they had 1.5 million sales.
All right. Well, I'll wait till Monday. And we'll confirm. I'll wait till Monday.
Okay, so we have that. We have Songs the Past expansion officially announced for Witcher 3, a new Witcher Wild Hunt. Songs of the Past, a long-rumored third expansion of The Witcher 3 has been officially announced by CD Projekt Red with the release window of 2027. The announcement was originally planned for Red Stream tomorrow on May 28th, but it also was pushed forward today thanks to the accidental leak. Yeah, it's probably because they don't have anything happening, and they're like, you know what, let's leak this. Yeah, let's put it out there. Title song of the Past, this expansion will be available for PC, Xbox Series X, S, and the PlayStation 5, and it's being co-developed by Fool's Theory. More official information will be revealed late this summer. So, unfortunately, you will not be watching any of the Summer Game Fest next week on my channel, next weekend on the channel, because I'm going on vacation. So we forgot to look at the dates, and so I will not be watching any of the showcases that happen
When's the showcases?
4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, or something like that. It's like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So there won't be a GXG next week either, because I'm flying out of town that week. So, all right, so there you go. The Witcher 3. Are you excited, Sarge? Did you play The Witcher 3?
I played it, but I never finished it.
Yeah, I played 8 hours, and I never finished it because I watched a 108-hour playthrough of Co Carnage back in the day when he played it. So,
I mean, it's a great game. Things happened during that time period. I just never got around to finishing it.
Yeah, when it came out, my son was born, so I didn't have time to sit down and play it myself. So I watched other people play the game. Let's see. I think that's enough questions. Yeah, we'll shut the banner off, and let's get to Q&A. All right, there's a lot of stories that we didn't get to because, well, every week there's just a shit ton of stories that come out, and we don't have enough time. We do way too many stories on this podcast. I'll be honest with you. There's a few of the top stories. We're like fucking 20 deep with tabs and stuff. My computer wants to lock down. All turn. First question says, if you could change the name of the movie Star Wars Mando and Grogu, what would you put to that movie?
You know what it seemed like they were trying to do? They seemed like they were trying to do that those 30s and 40s type things, like the Adventures of Mando and Grogu. Yeah, like that's what they seemed like they were trying to do.
Yep.
And so it didn't come across that way. But I think for like present day, I would probably it's hard to come up with a name on the fly. I would probably have to call it something related to the plot of the movie, but just to mention like one name that's not mentioned in the actual trailer, and like so and so's bounty, or so and so's, you know what I mean? Like, not have to be like a name, but like name like the thing that's happening in the movie. Like, I don't understand why they went with the straight names of the characters.
Yeah, like Walsh said on his video, he's like, it's like saying Luke and Leia and Han and Chewie. It's like, why are you naming it after the people?
Like Dead Man's Gambit.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like,
if you think about it, James Bond is called James Bond, and then Live or Let Die or GoldenEye.
They never mention his name. All it is like the name of the book of whatever it was, and with James Bond. If it's a James Bond book, you don't have to name James Bond.
Maybe it should have been called Star Wars: The Fetch Quest.
I mean, they could have named it anything. They don't. It doesn't seem like. I think the joke of his question is they didn't really spend any time trying to name it at all.
Wolverine says 3 rebels and a baby. That's good.
That's a win, bro.
That's a good one. I think you got that one. Pedro and Grogu, KK Adventure. Alternate says I would call it the Star Wars The New Apprentice. Oh, that's actually pretty good. That's actually pretty good. The Apprentice, Star Wars, The Apprentice, and then
You're fired.
yeah, it's got Grogu on the front. He's
It looks like Trump. Yeah, Grogu looks like Trump. You're
yeah.
fired. You're fired.
That's funny. All right, the next question. The next question is Krebsy says, does COD meet that October release date for Switch 2? What type of Play-Doh will it run? Side note, the new Call of Duty graphics look good. Battlefield 6, who? I didn't look at any of it. So I don't know anything about I didn't even get to the stories. I saw you posted a whole bunch of Call of Duty stuff. I didn't have time to look at it. And we were going to talk about it on the stream, but
so my first question is Call of Duty coming out this year?
Yeah, it's coming out this October. Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Of course it is. It's the Madden football of first-person shooter, Sarge.
And I don't think for long. I'll be honest with you. I don't think for long.
I mean, he's asking, does COD meet the October release date for Switch 2? No. COD's coming out in May of next year.
I don't even think the
for Switch 2.
I don't think even the Switch will handle it.
Oh, it will. In May next year, 2027. It's not coming out this year. Because none of the games that they announced for Switch came out on time. They were all pushed back by 6 months.
Yeah, because they're trying to figure out how to make it work.
Potato, right? And they say the S is the one holding everything back. Krebsy says, how low does Mando season 2 player count? I'm sorry, I said Mando. How long does Marathon season 2 player count get, especially with Destiny 2 getting its final update a week later, and the Civil War has spawned?
I think the way that it's
what are they at now?
Yeah, but the way it's positioned. Here's how it's positioned.
What is that now? Go ahead.
I think what's going to happen is Marathon going to end. Its season's going to end, and they're going to reset people. The people who get pissed off are going to move over and play the last release of all the Destiny stuff, right? So everyone moves over to Destiny. They're playing the Destiny content. And then while they're doing the reset over on Marathon, they figure out who's actually going to play Marathon once they redo it. And then they release the PvE stuff. And then it brings people back over to Marathon after that they finish up the Destiny content that they have released. They're going to ping pong them back and forth. I think the spread of the content is reset happens on Marathon. You move over to Destiny to play the DLC. Once you finish the DLC, the new PvE stuff will be ready for Marathon, and you back over to Marathon. That's probably what's going to end up happening.
I think it loses 4,000, where the concurrent's 12,000, and now the max will be 8,000.
You think the reset loses that many people?
Yes.
We're going to see.
I think a lot of people are going to play it and go, "Oh, it's fun," and then they go, "What? I got to do this all over again?" Like, bucking out, and they'll be like, "Oh, there's PvE now." Okay. Nope. Done. Right? Something's going to come out to take their interest away from this game.
I mean, wanting a game to die is easy. Just don't play it. Yeah. I mean, wanting a game to die, just don't play it. If you're actually that pissed, just don't play it. It goes away. We've seen all the games that go away very quickly when we're not being played. They go away. They go away.
From my standpoint, I don't have a pony in the race. I don't care if it fails or succeeds. I'm so far away from what Destiny is and what Bungie, I don't give a shit. I think it's fantastic to watch this go on. Like, I'm watching a pay-per-view event here.
Yeah.
Right?
We wanted people to act this way about Destiny forever.
Yeah.
And it's actually happening. Right. And it took them from saying that we're not making Destiny anymore for everyone to freak out. I'm like, I get to watch it.
Yeah, I don't care if it burns down to the ground or if it fucking comes to revive as Jesus' second coming. I don't care either way. I'm just like, this is fucking interesting to watch.
It is.
So I'm here for it.
It's like watching the car wreck as it happens.
Krebsy says, how many people are about to get hit with a layoff at Bungie? Ooh, this is good. I'm going to say
3, 4, half, 35, 40%.
I'm going to say 250.
Yeah.
250.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with 250. 250 sounds like a nice round number you put on a
because you can't hire, unless you're trying to play the game where you want to fire them and hire back guys cheaper, but you have nothing in the pipeline currently. So I would say that's about right.
Or 350, but 250 get fired and 150 get moved over to one other studio inside of Sony.
Yeah.
It's gonna be big. It's gonna be big. It's gonna be huge. Krabsy also says, WTF in the Unreal 6 engine announced when Unreal Engine 5 still unoptimized. We about to get another wave of OMG. They should have just sue Unreal Engine 6 for games to release broken again.
I mean, that's what they're doing.
And so
I mean,
the cycle continues.
Did you, Krebs, don't you remember? Like, the contract for gaming was, are you guys making a game? Yeah. Are you guys using Unreal Engine 5? No. Well, if you don't use Unreal Engine 5, we can't sell your game. Like, that's what they've been bullying everybody to do. If you're not making it in your Unreal Engine 5, then you weren't allowed to release a game. Like, that was going on for like 3 years. It's mental.
Yeah.
It is unoptimized. Everybody in the industry said it out loud during interviews. UE5 was never optimized. So what are you going to 6 for? What are you going to 6 for?
What was the movie? 6-minute abs? And then there was 7-minute abs.
Yeah.
Right?
3-minute abs can't happen.
Right? Well, that's what this is. You got there's no reason for Unreal Engine 6. You haven't even done good with Unreal, but maybe that's the problem. Maybe the problem with Unreal Engine 5 is Unreal Engine 5, and that's why they had to go to Unreal Engine 6 because they just couldn't figure out Unreal Engine 5. So they're like, you know what? Let's just go to 6.
Everybody was trying to fit the round peg into the square hole with UE5. It doesn't work for certain
Still
games.
stutters.
Stop.
Batman's having problems because of the open world Unreal Engine that they use. The game's getting good reviews, but it's still got that stuttery thing that happens.
I think it was released a little too early.
Yeah. It's getting good reviews, though. Waterbear says, will you check out the free marathon PvE weekend? Well, we've gone over this, Water. I hate Bungie. I am not giving them a moment of my time. I don't give two shits about marathon. They could make the entire game PvE by putting Star Wars, Marvel, and Transformer character crossovers inside of Marathon, and I wouldn't give two shits about Bungie and Marathon. No, that's the answer. No, I don't care.
I went to rehab. I got my pin. The answer is no.
Like I said, I think it's fucking hilarious that Azzacross is like, it's gonna burn down, right? I'm like,
where have you been? Where have you been?
Right, and then I'm also excited because the other guys are like, fucking Destiny guys are just out of control. They need to. It's like, what's happening? Like they're eating themselves. It's very entertaining. It's very entertaining right now. The next question. Altered says, do you think Sony is waiting to own Bungie 100% to finally do more with Destiny IP, comics, TV shows, and whatnot?
Yeah, the June deadline's coming up.
Yeah, when the layoffs happen, Bungie gets involved in dissolved or merged into Sony completely 100%. It's official, like they're married. Yeah, sure. I'm still baffled they haven't already started. Like we haven't heard any leaks or anything about they're making a movie. They're making fucking Halo TV series, and they're making movies of The Last of Us TV series, and Destiny's just sitting here like, what happened to us? Right? We don't have anything. I don't know. We'll see. Next one. Just Enough says, if Sony absorbs Bungie and makes their own D3, would you try? I see what you did there. Because Bungie will be no more. So if Sony, under the new under IP of Destiny 3, under whatever name they make for Destiny 3, would I try it?
Is it a live service?
Maybe.
Is it
live service or is it
it's just the game?
Yeah. Like Sucker Punch makes it. Like Sucker Punch is making Destiny now. Would I
First of all, the engine would have to change.
I mean, I'll be honest. If Bungie has nothing to do with it and Bungie's gone and it's a Sony IP, I'll tell you this. If it's a new studio with everybody from Bungie just moved over there, no. If it's a studio that we know, like Sucker Punch or another studio that's working on it, and then they make it, I'll say I'll give it a shot. That sound fair? That sounds fair.
The engine was the whole problem, Krebsy. The engine was difficult to work with. It's still difficult to work with. It's the same issues. It's been the same.
Oh, Jack, I know you're asking a question. No, I don't hate Destiny. I hate Bungie. There's a difference. I don't care about the leveling up of the guns and stuff like that. I'm over that. I don't fundamentally love Bungie. Hate the people that work there. Hate the people I met. Hate the companies. The whole thing. Right. Back in 2016, I went to conventions and talked and met them and found out who they were. And that's when I started talking that I don't like Bungie. That's why I stopped playing. Had anything to do with Lono and all what happened to him 4 years after. No, in 2016, I started. Bungie can't do money. They're gonna fuck up, and here it is. Right? No, it has nothing to do with Destiny itself. Destiny, I thought, one of my favorite games I've ever played. Okay,
It was one of the biggest gambles at the time.
Yeah.
That was like a tremendous gamble that they did. That succeeded.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with Destiny. Orbit says, do you really feel like Destiny 3 isn't the least pre-production at this point? No, it's not. According to Paul Tassie's sources from Bungie, they're nothing. Nothing has been pushed forward. Or Bungie going away with the dinosaur after 2 seasons of Marathon if it fails. I still think Marathon makes it to the end of the year. Yeah, and they're not working on anything. They've nothing.
I think I might win this. Me and Waterbear, I think we're in the same boat. I think when the June transition happens, that's going to be it.
I mean, you guys said 60 days or 90 days. You guys said 90 days.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
Krebsy says, do you find it ironic that the last Destiny expansion is the Star Wars expansion, and that arguably is the best expansion? Forsaken isn't playable when the game ends. That's unbelievable to me.
It makes no sense.
That the best expansion in the game can't be played. So sad. So sad. I do find it ironic that Star Wars, not only did it kill itself, but it also helped kill another franchise. I mean, that's
pretty tight. Pretty good.
Amazing. It's good stuff. Alter says, do you think the PvE pivot like strike missions or Helldiver missions in Marathon can bring people back to make them stay? No.
I think that once again, they instead of just turning into the skid, you're trying to abuse your community again. Just make the game fun. Stop trying to squeeze more money out of it. Make the game fun.
It's like alternative. You ever have a favorite cat or dog, and you love that cat or dog, right? It's the best goddamn cat and dog you've ever had in your entire life. Okay. And then it died, right? Had a long life to live or whatever. Maybe got hit by a car. Okay.
I think I know where you're going with this.
And
then you put him in the pet cemetery.
But no.
Then you bury your pet in the pet cemetery, hoping you'll get him back the same way.
Well, that's one
you
way.
Won't.
But I was
you won't.
No, but I was going to go the other way. Not that way. That someone buys you an identical cat or dog, right, to make you feel better because you miss your other cat and dog. Like, here it is. Looks exactly the same. You're like, it sure does. You just don't love it the same because
but he doesn't lick my balls the way he used to.
That's right. He just, you know. So no, I don't think it's going to bring people back and make them stay. Eric Jones says, I wonder what George Lucas thinks about what has happened to his creation. Would he still sell it to Disney?
I'll be honest with you.
Know what happened?
I really believe that once George collected his $4 billion, I don't think he cares. Right? I don't think he cares anymore. I think he knows what he did was right. What he made was just. His kid came to life for multiple decades. People were allowed to love it. Everyone made a ton of money off his stuff, and he collected his money. Basically, Lucas is the low-key Carson Parson, except that he didn't brag about it. He just went off into the sunset to spend time with his family.
Yeah.
Right? That's basically what it was. He didn't brag about saying he's driving his 16th Corvette and how awesome it is. He just He went
I
to go
mean-
spend time with his kids.
To be fair, they didn't ruin his Star Wars. You can still watch 4, 5, and 6, and 1, 2, and 3.
Right.
They're still there. You could choose to just not watch 7, 8, and 9 and anything after that. So in his head, he's like, there's not much Star Wars. You know what I mean? Like he does.
Right. It's not his.
Yeah.
Doesn't care.
So they ruined it because maybe he wanted to do 7, 8, 9 in his way. You know what would be fucking hilarious? Oh my God, Sarge.
He buys it back for $10,000.
No, he doesn't even have to do that. He doesn't even have to do that. With AI, George Lucas could just bring to life his films and be a fan film. But it's George Lucas's fan film of Star Wars.
Hilarious.
That would be fucking hilarious. He's just like, yeah, I just did this in my spare time. Wanted to see what the what the technology could do. It's pretty cool. Here's 7, 8, 9 George Lucas style. You know,
That would be
they'd be like, what the
20 million views the first day.
Yeah, he makes the whole trilogy of his own thing.
Fan film.
Yeah, it's a fan film. Doesn't matter if it's George Lucas, right? It's just a fan
I
film.
sent you a lot of it. Have you seen the
haven't watched
connections
any of
now with AI? How the story plots are now a lot better already?
Oh yeah, because of the way that you could take the transition and move it over to keep the consistency.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be hilarious if George Lucas makes a fan film of Star
Of
Wars.
his own movies.
Yeah,
The ones that they buried.
that would be fucking great.
And he doesn't have to charge for them, so they can't copyright them. They just
That's right.
fan film.
He's not charging. He's
Fan
just
film.
putting them out there. Just
Right,
to,
it's just fan film.
yeah.
Yeah.
They just-
That would be
It's called
That would be
Drop
the
Your
mic
Mic
drop.
Productions, right? Yeah, that would be fantastic. Jackie Snake says, do you think people have lost their mind saying 007 might be game of the year? Okay. I am very
I mean, the robot game got game of the year. Why
Very true.
why wouldn't 007 be in the running?
right. Anything can happen at the Game Awards, Sarge, that gets nominated. Here's what I don't understand. I watched 6 reviews, right? 6 reviews. We watched one of them on stream about a gentleman, I think his name was Cookies and Cream, and he got the game. I think he got it early because of GameStop gave it to him or whatever, and he played it, reviewed it, gave his thoughts. He was the only person had a pre-recorded video that talked about how dumb the AI was. Okay, he said that doesn't matter what level you put it on, the AI is dumb. Okay, everybody else and I watched Luke Stevens, I watched Skill Up, I watched Mug I forget the guy's name.
Mug Thief.
Mug Thief, right? Everybody loves it. Everybody loves it. They're like, this is the greatest 007 game ever created. And I was like, yeah.
Okay.
I watched 6 streamers live. Okay. Opening day, right? Different streamers throughout the day. Every single one complained about the AI, about how dumb they are, and then how inconsistent the fighting was. Okay. While they were playing through the campaign. So I literally watched the first 5 hours from 6 different people, and they all had about the same type of feeling about the game. They're like, it's good. Dialogue is good. It's not great. The action sequences are good. It's a movie game, right? Every person that did a review that got a copy is, if you want to call it, say glazing 007, and everyone had like no problems with it. And they're like, oh, it's an amazing game. It's phenomenal. And I looked at it and I was like, look, I don't like the game because their own, you know what? Let me just bring this up. Right, I did this, talked about this with Travis earlier. Let me bring up the Steam description of 007. All right, Steam charts. We'll go to the actual thing now. On the screen, you'll see that it says, earn your number 007 First Light in a thrilling espionage action adventure game from IO Interactive. Follow James Bond as a young, resourceful, sometimes reckless recruit in MI16 training program and discover the origin story. Okay. Now, I don't know if you guys know how the English language works, right? Which one's more important than the other thing in the thing, right? Espionage is before action adventure, right? Espionage, if you look up the term of espionage, it's about about being stealth, getting into situations, stealing high profile things, and you got to be stealthy. You got to be good about the stuff. The NPCs in this game are blind and deaf, right? You ever see the movie Hear No Evil, See No Evil with Richard Pryor and what the hell? Gene
Wilder.
Gene Wilder, thank you. Right? I was gonna say Gene Hackman, but right. That's what it reminds me of. It's like you could just get by people and they don't hear you and whatnot. Now, the people that I watched their footage that were playing live played a lot different than the people that had pre-recorded footage where they're just going in punching everybody. Okay. When you punch people, right, you just get in the thing, you get spotted, you start punching people because you can't shoot because you have to have a license to kill to shoot. So you can't shoot until they shoot.
That's not what that. I'm not trying to cut you off, but that's not what that means. The
That's what it means in the game. That's what it means in the game.
That's not what that means.
Right. So I don't like the game because the espionage part of the game of stealth being a part of there, not my thing. Not for $70, by the way. So is it Game of the Year contender? Sure. Why not? Mixtapes probably going to be up there too. Like, whatever. People like games for different reasons. And then you buy those games to play them. I don't think it's a full price game. I don't think it's a full price game for what it is today. Maybe I play the game when it's like $30-$40, right? I'll play it down the road. So if it wins Game of the Year, cool. Then I'll get Game of the Year contender, and then I'll pick it up the Game of the Year edition. But yeah, it's just been weird. It's just been weird with that.
I mean, they were just probably very, very cautious about them doing decent. That's all. That's why they came out with all the stuff they did.
Sure. Warber says, will Sarge take the dive and get Dawn of War 4 day one? It looks amazing, especially for an RTS. Give me the old school Warcraft for the first time feeling.
I agree, but you have to remember, I looked at the Dawn of War 3 game and the little people running around, and I understand their whole thing with kill animations and unique kill animations and that kind of thing. I love RTS. I do. And for me, I have been part of the RTS since the beginning of RTS. So I've played a majority of them. So I'm anxious to see the next, I guess, bracket of complexity for an RTS game. But there's so much involved in how an RTS plays and how it plays competitively and community, right? Like you can make an RTS game and it's kind of fun, but is the balancing and the playability of the units and the abilities, I'm not saying it has to be balanced from the get-go, but is it playable and fun that you want to play it competitively? Because that's what RTSs are. You want to play against people. So I'm hoping that the balancing of the units and the playability of the abilities within the game are somewhat synergistic, like that they work well together, as opposed to just being throw a bunch of guys at somebody and hope to win, because that's how Dawn of War 3 was. And nobody gave a shit because all it was is a bunch of little guys running around shooting, right? You can say it looks great, which it does, but compared to what we played before in the past, and I'm hoping, but once again, I maintain I do not buy games day one.
So you're saying it could be week one?
I mean, maybe. Like if it comes to your report in the point in the year where I know if I wait 2 or 3 months, it becomes a sale where during one of the sale periods where it's prior to the holidays or the spring sale, like that's where I'll probably pick it up. I don't buy games day one anymore. I just don't. Like, and I love the Dawn of War series. 3 was atrocious, but yep.
Well, it's funny that you bring that up, Jaggy, where you're saying everyone gave a shit about the stealth of Star Wars Outlaws and lost their minds on how average the game was. I just liked the consistency of the gaming community.
But that's how you know the narrative is there, Jaggy.
But here's the thing, right? I called it out. I called the shitty stealth out in 007. I called the shitty stealth out in Star Wars. They fixed the shitty stealth in Star Wars. And it doesn't say espionage and stealth in that game, right? It literally says espionage inside the other game. So I'm consistent. I know I'm consistent. If the game had better stealth, I would buy it. But it doesn't have good stealth, so I'm not buying it right now. Maybe they fix it. We already read it. It's a feature. It's a feature because they were pushing more towards cinematic flow, is what they said.
Yep,
Right?
understandable.
Because
You
of
want a movie
cinematic
game.
flow.
You want a movie game.
Right.
Well, just be thankful it wasn't press X to win.
Well, actually, the car sequences and stuff is just you could just push forward.
Did they just take the Spy Hunter game and just turn it on its side? And that's how you're playing the game.
Well, basically, yeah, because there's been people showing that they could just hold the button forward, and it just goes straight.
I respected those games back in the day because they were substituting graphical fidelity for complexity. But in 2026, I can't allow that.
Right.
I can't play a game like that. I don't care.
Here's the best part. If they do fix the stealth, and I do pick it up later, well, then I get a better game for a cheaper price. So there you go. I mean, it's a win-win situation for me. If they make the stealth better and it's on sale, well, it looks like I was okay. Because if they fix the stealth, that means they know the stealth was bad. But they probably won't fix the stealth because of the cinematic flow. Right? You got to have that cinematic flow.
I mean, the original James Bond movies were ridiculous. Like, you know that, right?
Well, of course, but it's a video game, right? I understand that you want the action.
But I'm not comparing video game with the movie. What I'm saying is the storylines for Bond movies, the story plots are like they are ridiculous. Like they kept getting more and more ridiculous. Like remember, Roger Moore went to outer space. They had a space battle. Like that's ridiculous. I mean, it was awesome. By the way, I loved watching it. My favorite one though is still the battle inside the oil tanker. The Spy Who Loved No, it's the Spy Who, it was the Spy Who Loved Me. Spy Who Loved Me.
I've always had a soft spot for Moonraker, the whole moon sequence battle. It's a shitty one, but for some reason when I was a kid,
but it's cool when you're a kid.
Yeah, when I was a kid,
it's outlandish as hell.
Yeah.
But I do like my two favorite ones are the Sean Connery one where I think it's I don't want to get it incorrect. I think it was You Only Die Twice, where he's in Japan and he has to fight inside the volcano. The enemy base is inside the volcano. And then the Spy Who Loved Me is the one where the boat sucks up the nuclear submarines and uses the nuclear weapons to hold the world hostage. Those are my two favorites. Those are my two favorites.
I didn't really like I liked Daniel Craig Casino Royale. Hated the second movie.
But I appreciate the fact of how they're telling the story with Daniel Craig because it's present day Bond.
Yeah, but
it's hard to do it because you don't have the Cold War shenanigans. It's presentation.
Yeah. He did 5 films. I didn't see the last one, so I only saw 4 of the 5. 2 of them, which would be 1 and 3, were good. 2 and 4 sucked, and I hear the 5th one's bad. So 2 of the 5 is good.
I'll be honest with you. I think what's going on in the world today, I think the next James Bond is black, which I'm fine with. A British black guy doing James Bond. I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to go for.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it, but he's got to be Bond, but black. He's fine. Like he's British, he's black.
As long as he's British.
But he still has a little snarkiness to James Bond. I think that'd be fine.
Yes, as long as he's British.
I think that'd be proper. Proper is it's a black British guy playing Bond. Yeah, absolutely.
As long as he's British, you're not bringing someone else that's not British coming in.
You're not bringing like a thug. You can't be a thug. Bond. Thug Bond.
Yeah.
Doesn't work. Yeah.
All right, chat. That is going to do it for Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week, and we rant along the way. Episode 491 is in the can. We do appreciate you very much for coming out, hanging out with us each and every single week. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. You can watch the past broadcast on this channel at YouTube/30NSG. You can also watch the past broadcast on Spotify, all the past broadcasts. We are approaching on episode 500. Next week, let me make sure it is next week because I think we fly out on Thursday next week. Yeah. So we leave on Thursday. So there will not be a show next week. All right. We are off next week for Generation X Gaming. There is a show for the Daily Grind Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday next week. but no morning show on Thursday or no GXG on Thursday as well. So do appreciate you. We'll see you in 2 weeks for episode 492. You guys have a great rest of your day, evening, or night, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.
Game on, guys.
Retro meets the now and here. Gaming tales you need to hear. Laugh and shout and sometimes sneer. Memories from all those years. Console wars and secret tips. Tips and tricks from pixel trips. News that pours from gaming sips. Critical minds and candid lips. And Generation X